Hey, guess what we're watching today, Sakura? How did you know that's what we were watching today? You crazy son bitch. We're watching Dad TV today. And Dad TV is Behind the Music. We're going to start with Behind the Music from Motley Crue, which is why we're listening to Dr. Feelgood right now. I have wings coming. We're going to get a little tipsy. It's going to be a great Sunday night. I am so excited. We're going to watch VH1's Behind the Music because VH1 isn't a company anymore and they can't sue me. Crazy shit. Am I Jack Black? I'm not Jack Black. This is VH1. Yeah, we're going to watch VH1 Behind the Music from Motley Crue, Aerosmith, and then I think they have a Led Zeppelin one. But they have all of them on YouTube and we're going to watch them together. It's going to be great. I was going to watch Pop-Up Video with you guys, but that is copyrighted music, and VH1's Behind the Music has less copyrighted music than Pop-Up Video, which is just music videos. But yeah, I'm going to go get some stuff taken care of. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Listen to Motley Crue. I love you guys. Give me just a second. I need a hat. Oh, it's your first stream. What's up, Yowie? Yowie addicted without the C. I need a hat that says Best Snail Dad or something. I really wish I had that hat. What's up, Ollie? All right, I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah. So few things quickly. VH1 Behind the Music deals with certain subject matter because sex, drugs, and rock and roll is a thing. Oh, more like Alpha Otosan. Fuck off, Winston. There is extreme subject matter, like drugs and sex, right? So if you're averse to any of that stuff, or you can't handle it, or you have a trigger or something like that, I would try and refrain from watching this. Sex, drugs, and strong themes. It's just like playing a rated M game, okay? But that's all of my streams. I just didn't want you to come in thinking that this was going to be sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, because rock and roll, especially back in the days when it was like super unregulated and, you know, they just kind of did whatever they wanted to, gets a little crazy. Sometimes it's fun and funny and nutty, but like they got away with some really crazy stuff. Some rock stars almost got away with murder. You know, it was dirty. It was very dirty. And I just want you guys to know that going in, okay? Is that cool? How are you floating? Sheer force of fucking will, dude. I willed myself into the air like this. Anyway, let's do this. Hold on. Go over here. You're very welcome, guys. Thank you. Hi. We are going to be watching... First of all, happy Father's Day to all of you fathers in chat. If you are a daddy, I'm here for you, and I really appreciate you doing what you do. Life's hard out there for a dad, especially single fathers. So if you are a single father, we salute you. What's up, Pad Count? How you doing? I'm say so, but I'll do my best to get through it. Hey, shh. No, you're not. You don't have to lie. Not on my stream. Don't lie on my stream. Can I call you daddy? You can. You can. You can call me daddy. You're allowed to call me daddy, Winston. Only you, though. You and you alone can call me daddy. It's like, yeah, all right, cool. I'll pass. I'm doing good, Pad. Thanks for asking, man. All right, let me double check and make sure that we are not missing anything in any of our Discord chats. How does it feel to be living my dream, Winston? You can call me daddy too, Arrows. You get 3 daddies a week. Winston lives with me, so I can't really regulate his usage of the word daddy. Professor Bobo Aniki, that's me. Can I be your daddy? I mean, I'm my own daddy. I suffer from what's called a time paradox. I am my own grandpa, you know? JK, I don't really, but I have daddy issues, don't need a dad, mama's better. Hey, 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 may I boop a button? Of course you can. Are there any buttons around here to boop? I gotta find another song to play quickly. We're gonna listen to some more Motley Crue. Here we go. You're a cat dad? I'm a snail dad. I need a hat that says world's best snail dad. I feel like he'd like that. Wouldn't you like that, bud? He'd like that. Can we have a daddy Legoshi? Can we ban you? Furikures, we're banning you. You get banned. 30-second timeout. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not allowed to time people out on my own stream. Are we ready to rock? Thank you so much for the biddies, Martini. Thank you kindly, man. Thank you so much. We need mugs with this imprinted merch idea alert. We have a lot of great merch ideas, but I'm not doing them until they're going to be a way to be executed, because one thing I learned about being a VTuber, it's easy to go off half-cocked, right? It's easy to make merch half-cocked. You're just like, oh, I don't have everything needed. I need to make sure that I have, like, supply lines and shit like that. So, yeah. I prefer full cock. Yes, correct, Arrows. I prefer full cock. And tid. What's up, Dev? How you doing? We are going to be, if you guys didn't notice from the title, hold on, I had to make sure that I can display my title. Hold on. I don't know how to see that. Okay, never mind. Oh, yeah. I'm Professor Aniki. This is a, no, we're not watching Jack Black, no. School of Rock. By School of Rock, I mean, a lot of you are, Zoomers, right? A lot of you are Zoomers. A lot of you people are guys under the age of 20, guys, gals, and non-binary pals under the age of 20. So, some of you don't get my references, which is like, okay, you know, I get it, but we need to take you to the School of Rock, okay? And the School of Rock is, what better day to start than on Father's Day, right? Daddy's Day. This is going to be, hey, Emily, this is going to be a recurring thing. Every so often, we'll sit down and we'll do Schools of Rock, where I teach you guys about the references that I have in both my comic books, my lore, and the universe that I work in and operate in. I just wanted, you were raised on rock. Good, good, good. Okay, okay. I'm just saying you guys may not understand the references that I'm doing sometimes. Like I have John Bonham's logo as a tattoo on my body somewhere, right? Do you know what that is? Do you know why they did that? Do you know what Bron IR is? Do you know who David Bowie is? Do you really know who David Bowie is? Do you know who David Bowie fucked? No, I don't think you do. And we're going to learn about that stuff. Today, probably, I want to try to do it once a week. But this seems more useful than actual school. Don't skip class to come and, don't skip class to come to Professor Bobo Aniki's School of Rock. Also, one of my new outfits that's coming out on the 30th is going to be used in Professor Bobo Aniki's School of Rock. In my semi-formal outfit, I'm going to be teaching you class in my semi-formal outfit. But we fucked everyone, and good for him. Yeah, he's great. He understands. You're the elder millennial? Okay. When shirtless? Well, they're working on it right now. I actually got a picture of it. Well, no, I didn't get a picture of it, but I actually, like, I know it's being worked on right now, and I cannot wait. They have to, guys, get this. They have to change some of my anatomy to make it work and look good. They have to move some stuff around to make sure that everything flows correctly. But very, very, very exciting. This is Testament. This is not Motley Crue. Oh, Home Sweet Home. This is an oddly slow song for Motley Crue. Nips or no nips? There will be nips. There will be nips. Do the tits glisten? Are they big? I mean, it depends. You got to rearrange your insides to make it work. Correct. You get a belly button? I mean, I've always had a belly button. It's just maybe not visible because of the lighting, right? It's just the lighting. That's why it's not visible, right? The lighting. Let me calibrate my fucking face, bro. Uh-oh. Tara sent me a message. Oh, shit. There's some update on some art that she's getting, and it's fucking gorgeous. Hot damn. It is present in at least one image now. Correct. Dev has a nipple. I mean, belly button in our oil painting that we're getting done by Dev. Remember what I showed you guys yesterday? Just the eyes? You get to see my belly button. I know. Privileged. You get to see my belly button. It's gonna be great. Little peek. Little sneak peek there. I do have at least one nipple. Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go. I'm very excited to see the end product because we have 3 cameos from some other VTubers in the picture, as well as I want to say upwards of like a dozen Kyle XY looking motherfucker. Yeah, no. I want to say upwards of a dozen Easter eggs too. There's a lot of Easter eggs in the painting that I'm very excited for you guys to like squint and look at. And we may sell it as a poster, as like a big poster. I know it's who wants a big poster of Alpha on their wall. I don't really know. Me, I do. I want a big poster of Alpha on my wall. I want to have it framed and stuff. It's gonna be really cool. But if I can't be a real movie star, I will act like I'm one on the internet, on Twitch. You want a big poster of Alpha? You'd buy one? Okay, all right. We'll think about these things. We got to do market analysis, you know? On my ceiling. There's only one way you can look at that. When you're on your back. How much are you going to price it? I don't even know when it's done. When it's done, I'll figure it out. We may, since we'll have it, we may make it into a poster. I want to put, I don't know if it's going to be the cover of the, like, graphic novel, because I feel like we have, one of our friends working on that. Joe is going to be working on that eventually, but, yeah. Anyway, just make a docky. Oh, just spend $800 on art, Alpha. Just spend $1,000 on more art, Alpha. Just make a docky. Just do it. It's way more complicated than that, but if that's something you guys want, we'll consider it. Probably done in a day or two. Okay. I'll think about it. Just spend more money, Alpha. Just spend money. I do think friend of the show, Ham, friend of my heart, Ham, had a suggestion the other day. No, dude, Dev, we had plenty of time too, so we got to work on it a lot, and we have all sorts of. I love how collaborative Dev is with his art. I'm really a fan. But Ham had a suggestion that we do an Alpha standee as a piece of merch, which I feel like is a lot easier to do and a little bit cheaper to do as well. Oh yeah, my pronouns are he, him, by the way. I don't have that anywhere. I just realized that. And during our re-debut, I'm not gonna spend time fixing the like drop down, whatever, the description and stuff like that until it's time for our re-debut, because I just want to have as many things change as possible during that. Spent this morning researching the person you sent. Now I understand the reference. Yes! Okay, yeah. It took me a bit, and then I realized that that's a chat thing that their chat does, so... Great people. I will literally make a PowerPoint outline for your debut that you can just fill in if you want. Well, I'll think about it. We have a... Oh, dude, Rush just came on. We're not watching the VH1 Behind the Music about Rush, but... Warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean ride. He's eating a hot dog! Serena, he's eating a glizzy. Check it out. Look at him. He could also dance. He's having a great time dancing. But if you would like to, we'll talk about it, Arrows. I would really appreciate that, man. as much help as I can get, because I'm doing a PowerPoint for my debut and a bunch of other stuff. It's going to be a lot of work. And tomorrow, I don't know if we're going to do a stream tomorrow, because I will be working my ass off on, like, actual, like, voiceover stuff. I have 3 indie projects that I'm behind on lines for, and I got to go to the post office, and I have a couple of auditions that I have to do. But I also have 2 sessions tomorrow, so it's going to be really busy. Could he beat Joey Chestnut? Holy shit! Martinis, thank you so much for the 10 gift subs, man. Oh my god. Gift subs to DeWolf, Fang King, Noon Fairy, Sinroll Streams. Hey, what's up, Sin? Zhao, Here to Spam, Sir Slane. Crow That Weaves Tails, Nyrozo. S1SS Brown, Swiss Brown, and Atlas CL. Thank you, guys. Sarah, what's up? Hello.
Maybe
Jesus
we
Christ.
should rub our fat cocks together sometime. Maybe a little oil. 2 fat cocks. Together. Oil.
Oil. Joey Chestnut, fastest hot dog polish on the East Coast. I don't know about Rawhide Kobayashi, though. I really do appreciate the subs, though, man. That's awesome. You're rad. That helps a lot more than you think it does. Like, I woke up this morning and my hands are dying. Your hands are dying. Get some ibuprofen, bro. You gotta do some stretches. Do you have a brace? Oh. I also need to stretch my arms. I went hard at the gym a couple days ago, and I keep complaining about it, but it still hurts. But happy Father's Day, again. If you're a dad, I love you. I don't care if I'm your son or not. If you're a dad, I love you. We're gonna try and get into this as fast as we can. We've been going for 18 minutes, but... What's up? Not much. We're gonna watch VH1 Behind the Music. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, Sylvie. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Get some Bengay. There's a lot of debuts happening, though, Sylvie, and that's probably the reason it's so hectic lately. But yeah. The VH1 Behind the Music, Motley Crue, is apparently one of the best ones. It's one of the better ones because every member of Motley Crue did something a little sussy. I mean, that's putting it mildly, but every member of Motley Crue, every single one, Sid Vicious, every single one, did something a little sussy. They have songs directly quoting them, like, crimes and stuff. Like, they're crazy. And I do definitely believe that it is a Dark Eye Day. So we're going to activate Dark Eye here in just a second. Wah! There it is. Motley Crue is certainly a metal band, is a group, is a rock band. He's pulling his dark eye out. That's what I call my wang. My one-eyed, my dark eye. Stare into my dark eye. That's a lyric right there. Holy shit, let me write that down. Stare into my dark eye. All right, cool. Neat. Why's your wang dark? I don't know. Dude, 2. Tone. Malone. No, you don't have to add it to the reference file. If it's said more than 5 times, it's a reference. You've been hitting banger lyrics during streams a lot? I know, I'm writing them down. I have a little notepad here. 2-Tone Malone. See? All the corn enjoyers in chat will get that reference. Are you a corn enjoyer? Hold on. I can actually turn my frame rate up because I'm not playing a game that tanks my FPS. There we go. Beautiful. What's your favorite band, Alpha? Oh, Rush. Rush is probably my favorite band. Boop, boop, bip, boop, bip, boop, bip. He really said my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. He did. All right. Let's see. I don't want to waste too much time, but I'm also, like, waiting for food. Favorite Rush album? 2112? I do want to sit down and do a listen of 2112 because it is a sci-fi movie that never happened. It's so sad. It's one of the best sci-fi movies that never happened. Yes, Bangs, we are. Juzo! We're going to watch VH1 Behind the Music for Motley Crue. Any metal enjoyers in chat who are friends of the show, that would like to come in and provide some color commentary, they're free to. I just ask that there is not too much crosstalk, so we can actually. Do you shower? I just got out of the shower, actually. Yeah. Also, welcome to stream, Bilbo. But yeah, metal enjoyers rise up. Correct. Once we start streaming or once we start watching, I will jump into the VC and we can. I'm down to jump in there. Let's go. Okay, cool. We watched. If you guys, thank you so much. If you came yesterday, and chilled in our Discord, we watched 10 episodes of Outlaw Star and 4 episodes of Akudama Drive. That was so much fun. We ended on 4 episodes of Akudama Drive. We watched 10 episodes of Outlaw Star. Fucking great show. Fantastic. I'm glad you guys were there. Thank you for coming. Thanks for hanging out. And we will do it again next week. Next Saturday night, we will do more anime watch party stuff. We'll do a small stream beforehand and then push everybody into the Discord where we can watch 10 more episodes of Outlaw Star. Or, however many we can stomach. But we got to the end of a good arc, and we didn't want to start another one because it would get a little messy. But now we all remember what happened, and they're in space now. They're in space. Spies! Okay. I gotta respond to this DM quickly. Gaze in space. Oh, okay, cool. You used to watch Outlaw Star? Fuck yeah. Good stuff. Also, the director of Beastars is the voice of Gene Starwind. And every time he talks, he made references to the show while we were directing, and I had never seen it before. So now I get all the references that he's talking about. Real meat and potatoes guy, Bob. I love Bob. He's probably one of my favorite directors in the Valley. Really good guy. They are Outlaw Stars, correct. It's a 26 episode show. So we're a little less than halfway through it. Okay. And I'm trying to keep my voice, I'm trying to warm my voice up a little bit because it's nice and it's really tight right now. Like a rainbow. Beep boop, beep boop. And I have to get up the, what we're actually watching here. DH1 behind the music of Motley Crue. This is 47. Hold on. I got to figure out which one has the best. I think this one has the best video. Yeah, okay. All right. And this is all like an education for you guys. You know what else is tight? Your dad. Oh my god, what? Fun. Sorry. Actually, I gotta exit out of this stuff. I'm exiting out all the stuff that I don't need. Don't need that, technically. Can't have you even look at that, because that would spoil a lot of stuff. Ooh, this is another really good Motley Crue song. Smoking in the boys' room.
Maybe we should
Jay's here. What's up?
Together sometime. Maybe a little oil. 2 fat cocks together. Oil.
Hey, guess what? Atera just told me that the place that they work, Atera's workplace does a lot of work for Motley Crue, which is a fun little tidbit. We know some cool people. Yeah, Atera is really cool. They're really cool. All right, I'm gonna drink some water and then we'll pivot on over. We got about 15 minutes until my food gets here. ANIKI'S. Oh my god. Atera, stop being cool. They fit a lot of cool into one entity. True. ANIKI'S wrote some books. I mean, I think ANIKI'S is probably the smartest one of them all. But they really got absorbed by the rock and roll lifestyle. And it's a pretty yeah, it's pretty I can't spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. I'm just gonna slip over to the other the other image here, and then we'll get started. Oh my God, guys, this might be a little crusty. Okay, just so you know, this was aired in 1999, I think. What food you getting? We're getting wings. We're doing it dad style. We're getting wings, and then in a couple of hours, we are going to we're gonna start taking shots.
Heard any news from the other provinces?
Thanks, Claude. So let's get rid of this quickly. It was 12 when it aired on VH1. Yeah, and it was a big deal too. People came out of the woodwork to try and look at this. It made like headlines and shit because this was an expose as well as like a chronicling of their lives. Let me move over to the left. Yeah, there we go. Some CRT crust, correct. All right, I gotta pause the Motley Crue so that we can listen to Motley Crue. Oh, fun Terra fact. Here they come. Lots of the rock and roll stars are very particular about their equipment, but the most pain in the ass that a Terra says a person is Kanye. So that tracks. Anyway, I'm not gonna air our dirty.
Crusty? I was crusty
once. Oh my God, here
they
it
put
comes.
me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room with rats. The rats made me crusty. Crusty? I was crusty once. They put me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room with rats.
Yes.
The rats made me crusty.
Yes, you can time out,
crusty?
Jay. Time him out
I
for
was
30
crusty
seconds.
once. They put me in a room. A rubber room. A rubber room with
Jesus
rats.
Christ.
The rats made me crusty. Crusty?
There we go. Thank God. All right. Is this rubber room stuff new? I don't know. It came out of nowhere for me. I heard they add a very specific rider to make sure their stage is safe. I'll time myself out. Oh, you don't have to. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're gonna go in here. Again, we're gonna try again. Please, if you would like to join, please keep it on topic. Please, if you'd like to join on topic, we're gonna be watching this. We're going to actually be watching and learning, just like how when you were in school. And the teacher wheeled out that big-ass CRT. I mean, nowadays, they don't do that anymore. But you wheeled out that big-ass CRT, and you're going to watch some Bill Nye the Science Guy or some shit like that. So if we're going to pay attention, we're going to learn, okay? Yeah, it's Bill Nye. Is that a bad thing? Bill Nye's great. I love Bill Nye the Science Guy. My weekly strapped down CRT. Yeah, don't want to fuck with it too much. You don't want to fuck with the CRT too much. Otherwise, it'll fall over on you like a fucking vending machine. Bill Nye, the Science Guy. You're giving me school PTSD? It's okay. We're in the school of hard rock, okay? We're in the school of hard rock right now. It's fine. We're all good. This is a safe space until some members of Motley Crue get in here. Anyway, again, just so you know, they did some crazy shit, so you're gonna hear some crazy shit, okay? I don't want to ruin your favorite rock band or something, and I don't want to be responsible. You hold my hand through it? Of course I will. But we're going to have to censor that, because that's lewd. All right? I'll fuck the shit out of you, but holding your hand is like, we got to make sure that's censorable. Crazy shit like heroin. Crazy, yeah, just more than heroin. They did a lot more than heroin. Okay, I'm going to dip into here again. Boom. Okay, all right. I gotta turn this up a little bit too. Heroin is tame in this.
Jazz?
What's up, Winston? Are you gonna watch this with me? Oh no, he's gone. I thought my roommate wanted to learn about rock and roll, but turns out he just wanted to be a fucking meme. That's so very, very sad. All right. I'm gonna put everybody get your glasses. Get your glasses on. Pay attention. Get your notebooks out. Okay. There will be a quiz. There will be a quiz. Later, when I get around to making one, if I don't, just, whatever. I'm a little hungover, so I'm putting on the lazy substitute teacher vibes, okay? I'll pop in. I'm gonna get something to nibble on first, though, and I also have sips for later. Okay, yeah, we are gonna get a little tipsy tonight once the sun sets, okay? But not quite yet. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and just talking nonsense and make sure you guys can hear this stuff. Hold on, you guys can totally hear this. Okay, good. Turn it up a bit. The cool substitute that let me watch Clerks. But there's boobs in Clerks. You watch boobs in school? Lucky. My brother brought home some margaritas. Oh, let's go. Okay, all right. Tink, tink, baby. All right. Let me make sure that I have chat as well. Because last time we went a long time without chat. And if you guys can't see yourselves, you don't exist. Because you have, chat does not have object permanence. It's sad, but you know what? Where the fuck is chat? Where is chat? Chat box.
You couldn't find out last time too, right? For the commercial thing.
But like, chat is there. It should be here. Oh, there they are. I'm a moron. Okay.
Was it layered?
Yep. Oh yeah, there we go. You guys will be up here. You guys know you're there. You exist now. It's okay. Dad puts you in the corner. You're gonna be all right. All right, and I'm gonna stream this to Discord too.
I meant to leave at one point to get the food, but other than that.
Okay. Actually, I'm not gonna stream this at
say
1440p. There's no reason for me to stream this at 1440p because it's not even in 1080p. Okay. This documentary is called The Rise and Rise of Motley Crue. All right. You ready, chat? Are you ready? Good? Can we get I need some Peepo notes in chat, please. You ready? You got your notepads out? It's school time, class is in session. All right. We're going to begin.
They had a certain something.
Nikki would talk about it all the time. I'm going to be a rock star. I'm going to be somebody.
Tommy would play the drums 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
When he got on his drum set, it was like electricity.
When Vince was on stage, he was a very different person. The girls loved him.
Mick didn't have a dime to his name, but once I heard him play, it was turn out the lights. This guy's just got it.
They chased one goal relentlessly.
They wanted to be the biggest band in the world, and they knew they could do it.
Through struggles.
Nikki just could not keep a beat.
He wasn't a musician.
They had no food.
They were just living off of whoever will help them out at the time.
See?
And setbacks.
Bob Krasnow said Elektra is not really interested in selling music to people who live in the gutter.
They were just a joke.
Some people are just driven. 4 rebellious rockers' defiant pursuit of superstardom.
Nikki Sixx had a plan for world domination.
They weren't going to give up until they got what they wanted.
Bold strategies.
What they wanted was Hollywood by the balls.
Never
the editing is very
images,
90s.
Stories and revelations from the people who know what really happened.
There's girls everywhere, wall-to-wall girls.
Because they lived it with them.
They'd come into the studio and they'd be doing drugs.
We couldn't take 5 years to turn this into something, or this organism would destroy itself. You just couldn't
They were
help
so
but
hot.
say to yourself,
I mean,
these guys are either going to fall flat on their face or
they
they're
were
going to go right to
attractive.
the top.
This is Driven Motley Crue.
It's something that you can put on your model, Jim.
Oh.
Makes sense for them.
Oh my god, that's great. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. This is great. I don't know if this is... Well, maybe it's great. Who knows? Maybe I'll get in trouble for having this on my model. Doubtful, but we'll figure it out. Give me just a second, chat. Huh?
Is this on the VH1 channel? Or is this?
This was on VH1. Yeah.
Okay.
They had an entire series of behind the music.
You know what? I also just looked up. I saw on YouTube. They also have the I Love the '80s series.
Oh, that's good shit.
Yeah.
That's more recent though. That's relatively
true.
recent, and I don't know. This was from like the 90s, so I don't think this is a behind the music episode. Whatever. At least we're gonna learn about this. It's fine. I don't care. Oh, there we will watch behind the music. Hold on a second. Let me see if we can find the behind the music episode if we haven't already. You're gonna have to watch like 6 different intros. I'm sorry. Apologies. This is the only one they got. No, this is the behind the music episode. It's they're all titled something else. Yeah. Yeah, okay, this is one of them. It's on the playlist at least. skip this.
But as fate would have it, every time she turned around, she made a mistake with this or made a mistake with that or a misjudgment on people.
When Frank's father and mother split the sheets with each other, it caused so much hard feelings between them that Frank suffered for it.
My mom was dealing with quite a bit. We had hard times. It was the sole income. She didn't have anybody else to take care of us. And she was also very wild. She liked to party.
One time, his mother had took off and went with a truck driver, and she had left him with some woman in Sparks, Nevada. She called his grandmother and I. We picked him up and brought him home with us. When his mom was leaving, he'd never talk about it, except Mom had to go someplace.
Right here, maybe that'll work better.
We lived in El Paso. We spent at least a year together there with my grandfather, my grandmother, and my mom.
We had a hog ranch down in Texas.
Oh, a hog ranch!
When Frank was a little boy, he had to fight his way through school. The big kids would grab him and take his money, and one time he loaded a lunchbox full of rock, and when the kid come up after him, Frank just hauled off and batted him with it, and no more problem from then on.
Holy shit.
Let him get independent for himself.
What old show is this? This is, technically it's a VH1 Behind the Music, but this was after it was called Behind the Music. This is the Rise and Rise.
Because of my mom's wildness, my grandparents felt that it was best if they took Frank and raised him, at least for a little while.
Frank was kind of brought up like a gypsy because I moved from job to job for a while. And we had the kids with us down in Texas, New Mexico, Lake Tahoe, and Jerome, Idaho. It's a hard life on him.
He got sick of being told what to do.
Frank was having trouble in school a little bit, and it upset me.
I think a lot of Frank's attitude came from being kind of exported.
Frank come to the conclusion that small town was too small. He decided that he'd go back and live with his mother. So his grandmother sent him to Seattle.
Frank came to Roosevelt High School in 10th grade.
When I first met him,
Nikki's high school friend.
He was a Peter Frampton lookalike. He had a long shag haircut.
He was really hot. He had like the sandy brown skin, and he was real tan, and he had these eyes that were just captivating.
He looked like a rocker kind of guy.
It was fairly obvious that we were the rock and rollers, and I think he really clicked on that.
We had long hair, and we dressed pretty flashy.
We were really into a lot of glamour.
He's got these eyes, you know.
Alice Cooper, David Bowie.
We were the loudest, hardest rocking band in high school.
I invited him to the house after school to hear the band practice. We had
everybody feels. I feel like everybody knows a variation of the story,
get all
right?
Dressed up with the satin shirts, and we would walk out there under the lights like it was, the big concert.
As soon as he saw us play, light bulbs went off in his head.
Frank didn't play a note, but
changes as a David Bowie song? Yeah.
He bugged Rick. Show me how to play.
I started teaching him some things. Somehow or another, I gave him the impression that if he could just get a bass, he could be in the band. One day, Frank walks in a music store down in the University District with an empty guitar case.
And asked for an application. When the guy turned around and went to the back room, Frank very calmly just opened up the guitar case, sticks the guitar in there, closes the case, and then waits. Instead of running out the store, he just stands there. And this person goes back, gives him the application, he says, thanks, no problem.
He comes to the door.
Oh my God!
And he's all flushed and he's breathing hard and, look what I got. And he opens it up and I look at it and I just can't believe what I'm looking at. And I just say, this is a guitar. This is not a bass.
Even though I was just a stupid drummer, I knew the difference between a Les Paul and a bass.
And the look on his face was just of disappointment and despair. What?
Frank wanted to be in the band, and desperate times call for desperate measures.
Sure, yeah.
There we go.
We began to find out that Frank was having a lot of trouble at home. I can remember a time when his mom was shouting obscenities behind him. Not real pleasant environment that he was coming from.
I know he was having fights with his mom quite a bit.
Frank seemed to think that his mom hated him.
He was in those teenage years.
How though? It's like one has a different number of strings, and they're like thicker than a baby's arm, dude.
Agitated a lot.
He started to do some drugs.
There's a lot of things that are thicker than a
When Frank and I
baby's
went
arm.
out to drink and to party, it was to excess.
You were smoking dope or you were drinking MD-20.
There was a big blow up between
What
him
the
and
fuck
my
is
mom,
that?
and there was just no resolving it. He was not doing well in high school.
By the middle of 11th grade, Frank dropped out altogether.
It got really bad. My mom and him had a talk, and the next thing I know, he went to Idaho.
When Frank come from Seattle to Jerome, he was a different person.
Jerome?
He had
That's
an
my
axe to
dad's
grind
name.
for the world at that time.
God. He was talking about
That's like
what it was like to
fucking
take
nowhere.
acid.
Yeah.
It was hard to
That's
connect
where you
with
want to go
Frank.
if you want to.
Frank always said, I'm going to be a rock musician if it kills me.
Something inside was telling him to go for his dream.
Between that and partying, that's all he thought about.
He decided to
Sure,
leave.
Jam.
He had his mind made up and went to Los Angeles to become a rock star.
Okay.
Yay.
That's your first
Okay.
mistake. Hey,
What a
I lived there.
glorious time it was in the late 70s
Nice
when
scarf.
the Sunset Strip was like the gold rush.
There was just sex everywhere, and there was drugs everywhere.
Frank was living from hand to mouth and sleeping in cars or wherever he could.
The
I call
lifestyle.
him up and I'm like, hey, Fag, how the hell you doing, man? What the is going on? And he stopped.
As it must
And he
change
goes,
for
Sam,
people
I'm
moving
only going
to
to tell you this
Don't get the
once.
food.
Frank Farana is dead.
Yo.
I don't want to be called that. Don't call me that anymore. My name is Nikki Six now.
He was adamant. I am not
My name is
Frank
Alpha
Farana.
Mackenzie.
I am Nikki Six, and that's what you need to call me.
Alphonse is dead. Don't call me that.
Erase his past.
The name
Alphonse
change was a
Mackenzie
big
is
part
dead.
of Frank's
Alpha Mac is
metamorphosis.
the new
Alpha
on
Mac.
this.
Killed off Frank Farana.
Alpha
and,
Mac sounds like
rebuilt himself
Alpha
from
Mac sounds
scratch.
like a McDonald's.
Frank
Yeah, it does. It does.
21, 23.
It's the secret menu.
Nikki Six, that's altogether different.
Sex everywhere. They were fucking on sidewalks, up the lampposts, in the alley.
We were playing the Whiskey A Go.
Those sound like Motley Crue lyrics.
An all-girl band. You couldn't miss him walking through the
Yeah.
door.
Oh,
His
my
hair
wings
that
are
just
here.
Was huge.
Wing.
He was already dressed
Oh
for MTV
God, I had
before there
fucking
was an
brisket and
MTV.
ribs for
Nikki
dinner over at my
had
dad's.
the dream
I
of
can
being a
feel it
rock
in my
star. It
gut.
wasn't like he was driven to learn his instrument. It was a prop. You know, the only thing with that prop, you do have to play a little bit.
This guy didn't even know what a E chord was.
Nikki learned how to be a better musician from our drummer, Lori Bell. They used to practice together. She would just get so furious with him. She'd be slapping her legs really hard, and Nikki just could not keep a beat.
When I first met Nikki Six, I was a street kid living in Hollywood. There was just this chemistry. I liked him immediately. I said, let's you and me start a band. And he was really happy. Like, he hugged me and was just like, yeah, let's do it, man. And so that was it.
London was fronted by Nigel Benjamin, the former lead singer of the very last incarnation of Mott the Hoople. Nikki Six was the bass player and in many ways the architect of the whole London theme.
We were going to try to perpetuate the classic glitter rock of 74, 75, kind of glitzy, glam, ambisexual, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. What's your opinion on romaine lettuce?
The whole scene in Hollywood at that exact
Do you know
moment
where you
was
are,
almost
Mr.
permeated
Katana?
with punk rock.
Hey, Wesley, what's up,
Those
man?
people
Happy
wanted
Father's
no
Day.
Part of it.
This isn't
London
like a
would play
hotel
sold-out
cafeteria.
weekend at the Starwood, and then
This
we'd
is
go
a
down there
food
to get
street.
paid on Sunday.
Street
Nikki had
kid.
to walk
He was
through
homeless.
An entire crowd of wrathful punks, you know, who did not like the way he looked.
The crowd of people, they were laughing at him like, oh my God, take a look at these freaks.
And he got spit on like 100 times.
They were just a joke.
What? Everyone's a dad in their own way, man. Yeah. You're doing a social experiment?
Play shows, and Nigel would come
Wash
back
your
and
lettuce,
go, that
guys.
guy sucks. He can't play. I want him out of the band.
Nikki was not
Wash
a strong
any
musician.
food that you get from the
Nikki
store
was
that
all
isn't
over the
packaged.
place.
Wash
There
it,
was just
please.
a lot of turmoil within that group.
Nigel had an extremely huge
Man, I got some
ego.
Santa Fe
he goes,
wings,
it's
man.
Nikki or me. And I said, no way, Nikki's not going anywhere. Nigel Benjamin quit the band. The magic was gone.
Nigel Benjamin.
Nikki said, I want something bigger. I want to shock people. I want to get out there and I want to be known.
One day I'm sitting with Nikki, we're out in my car, and Nikki started crying. And I go, what's the matter? And he goes, this makes me sad to think about it. He was, hold on a second.
Damn, okay.
Damn. He started crying because he was quitting the band, and I didn't know that, you know?
What I miss?
Nikki quit the band.
What? Why?
It was a bad
put
combo.
Together 3 other guys that he had handpicked to be in a star band.
Nikki Sixx was a rock and roll architect.
We should adopt someone that says something crazy as Jim. Winston already does it.
Nikki hooked up with Tommy Lee.
He knew Tommy from Sweet 19.
Tommy was very young at the time, I think still in high school.
Nikki definitely got the best drummer around at that time.
Tommy was born in Athens on October 3rd, 1962. Tommy was 2 when my mom brought him back to the United States.
Athens,
He was a great all-American kid.
Tommy's relationship with his parents was very good.
You could tell it was a tight-knit family and everybody supported everybody.
My parents were pretty Leave It to Beaver.
Tommy had a lot of energy. He was very hyperactive. He loved music.
Tommy was banging on the stuff in the kitchen. He was playing on the walls. My father bought him a drum set for Christmas from Sears. And the front was all psychedelic, and there was a light inside the kick drum that blinked on and off, and he just thought that was the coolest thing alive.
I think my brother had that exact same drum
I
set
remember when
he was
Tommy first got into ballet and tap class. Tommy had to come with me to class instead of him just sitting
what a
and
rock star thing to
watching
do,
the
man.
whole time. My mom
Shoot, I
was like,
accidentally-
"While
Fuck
you're
yeah.
here, you might as well
Gotta
try
make sure
it,
not
right?"
to
So
drop
he
on your
kinda
ass
got
when
into
you're on
it.
stage.
Hi.
Hello.
They used to call him the 2x4
I turned
because
off
he
my
was like really
headphones
stiff, you know.
accidentally,
I remember
thinking
one
I
time
was
coming
turning
over
him
to
on.
his house and he's in a pair of tights. And I'm like, Tom, why are you wearing the tights?
If I was ever mad at him or something, I'd go right in the middle of the street and I'd just go, "Hey, Tommy, it's time for ballet."
He was kind of embarrassed about it.
Aww. He seems like a good kid,
I
though.
met Tom at Royal Oak High School.
Tommy was a skinny little guy, long hair, and kind of tall and lanky.
It was tough for him because he wasn't quite cool yet. He didn't really know where he was fitting.
Tommy got hassled a lot just for looking different and being different and having different interests. You know, he didn't want to play football.
He really wanted people to like him, and if they didn't like
With
him,
a massive hog, he was wearing a
kinda
dance
hurt
belt.
and wanted to
Okay.
know why. You know, why don't they like me?
Tom was a quiet guy, but his personality, he would change when he would play the drums. I mean, you could see it.
He was in our high school band. Yeah, he was a band nerd.
Everything was music,
Oh,
music, music.
The mouth sounds.
Tommy would play the
Did
drums
anybody else hear that?
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
No.
Nope. If anything, we had to pry Tommy off the drums.
Like Ashton Kutcher a little bit.
Oh, look, we get little eye catches, too. Neat. This is fucking trippy. What the hell? Whoa, what is going on? That was a...
That was a bump. What the f?
They know the game. They're here to stay. They are the artists
Is this
you
just
know and
ads?
love. Check out the newest videos and classic.
There we go. That was just... That's
Tommy
just a
always
set
wanted
of
to start
ads.
a band.
They made up the group US 101.
Basically, it was a cover band. They were playing Styx.
Stuff like fog hats.
Journey was real popular.
Once Tommy was getting more comfortable with himself, that's when he got really cute. The girls started really digging him.
Hey, Andy, what's
One girl
up?
would come
Hello.
over and she would be in the driveway or on the side of our house just screaming, "Tommy, I want to have your baby.
Please come out." Throwing rocks at the windows, and it was pretty crazy.
Spite, what's up? Hey!
Tommy's mom
Spite,
was
we're watching
very
Behind the
lenient.
Music.
His dad was a lot more
That was
strict.
like being a
His
rocker
dad
boy
wasn't
alpha.
real supportive
Yeah.
about what was
Chicks just
going
throwing
on. He
yourself,
thought he
throwing
was
them at
more or
you.
less
You gotta peel them
wasting
off with a
his
stick.
They had conversations
Is that really
about
possible
his
to do
education
in
and where he was going in
21,
life.
23? Is there
It
like
got
a
ugly
road
once in a
to
while.
really stand
My
on
dad was
anymore?
always a military
That's
guy.
sneaky
There's a
He was
road,
in the
yeah.
military for about 40 years.
safe to,
My
like,
dad
Bad card, thank you for the
screamed
prime
saying,
sub for
Yeah.
12 months.
You know, you can
Welcome
always
back.
go in the army and
Thanks,
play
man.
music, and my brother wanted nothing to do with it. That ended up being
This
a
is
pretty
Motley
gnarly
Crue, by the
fight.
way,
My
Spike.
dad was pissed off, and he said something about being a man. Let's go outside. He took my brother in the backyard, and they were fist fighting. Tommy left right then. He just left, and didn't come back till 2, 3
Smart
in the
guy.
morning, something like that.
Remove yourself from the situation.
Tommy always knew where he was going, but I don't think anyone else knew.
US 101 was falling apart.
There was some infighting.
At about this time, Tommy started dressing a little differently. He was stealing my makeup. He was taking my earrings. He was taking my shirts.
He was starting to play in that band called Sweet 19. Starting to play some of the Hollywood clubs. Starting to get into the stuff that he really wanted to do.
We had heard through the grapevine that Tommy had got together with Nicky, the guy from London.
Him and Tommy clicked immediately.
He got the call to play with Nicky. He left high school. He left the house. Then he
Where am I
moved to
jumping?
Hollywood.
Oh, hold on a
There's
second.
nothing you can do to
I'll
stop
drag you
him
in.
at that point.
I remember just flipping
Yeah, hop in
out
the VC.
because
We'll get you in.
all of a sudden
Yeah,
he
jump in
was
any
just
VC you
gone.
can get in. We'll drag you in here.
So this doesn't go to stream.
He had a vision of this band.
It was his concerted
Let's do
effort
it.
to put the ultimate
up,
rock
Juzo?
band
Go, Juzo.
together.
There we go.
He had
Silence,
found an
Jesus
amazing drummer.
Problem was
I'm sorry,
trying
I'm
to
sorry.
find a great guitarist.
Sorry, usually you're not able to speak in there normally, so I have to server
How
mute you
dare
and
you.
then server mute.
Man.
Do silence.
He grew up in Garden Grove,
I'm
California.
sorry, I had to. For the greater good.
Fine, I'm gonna blame him anyway.
Always coming up with another name every week to be called instead of being called Bob Deal.
I'm taking back the
Mick Mars,
you know,
just kind of came out and stuck.
It's okay.
He had a band
Man.
called White
I'll
Horse
just copyright
back in
claim
the
you
mid-70s.
for using my name.
Was a guitar player that followed our band
Sell us
around.
merch.
What if I cross it
And
out
we just died to
again
get
and
in our
then like
group.
We were
Femboys again?
playing Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin.
Bitch, I can still get you for that. My name is still there.
Nick would come around
It's
to where
crossed
we
out,
would
but I
play,
can still
and he
get
would
you.
just stand there and
Bushi,
look at us.
hello.
He was introverted.
We're watching
and shy.
VH1 Behind the
Nick had
Music.
two
This one's about
children
Motley
by his
Crue.
first
Happy
wife.
Father's
He
Day.
had to make money so he could support the
Happy
kid.
Father's Day, Juzo.
He didn't have a dime to his
Thanks.
name. His
Oh,
amp was
father.
blown up. His guitar
You're a father
had
to a lot of
broken
people.
neck, and the guy had
I
one
was
set
about
of
to say, I'm not a father, but
didn't
according to
matter.
some
I was
people, that
immediately blown away
is
by the way
different.
he
But
played.
Let's turn out the lights. This guy's just got it.
All right, time to put in the fireball.
He
I read
added
your
a
chat
dimension
and I
to
saw
the
the word
band.
eyeliner.
Already?
How the fuck did you know I was
We
wearing
knew we were
eyeliner?
gonna
That's so
get
creepy. How did you know?
We were in a record deal, and our managers saw disco as the next big thing.
Ew.
We want you
Oh, this is
guys
such
to
a
put 3
throwback.
disco
I used to
songs on
watch
your album.
these. I used to
Nick and I
watch
said
these in
no.
my spare time.
We're not
fucking
doing
growing
that.
up.
We
I used to watch these with my
rock and
dad.
roll band, and we weren't going to settle for anything less than that. Things just kind of fell apart after that.
Mick and Kenny continued on for a few years in Vendetta.
This is the
Pretty
Alpha
soon
channel,
that
and you're
band
watching
fizzled
VH1
out,
Behind the
and
Music.
Mick was back on the streets
I'm
destitute.
Alphonse
I don't know
McKenzie.
how Mick survived.
Back to twerk. All right, bye, Ushi. Thanks for coming and saying hi.
Another gal. He had another baby.
Oh my god,
All of
that
his
makes me
bills
think of a
started
TikTok
piling
that
up.
we could do.
He was starting this pattern of failure. And I
How
think
often
he
do
just saw,
bands
hey, I'm never
break
going
up
to be
and
able to
make
get out of
new
this
bands?
if I don't change
Every
it.
often.
other year.
I had to run to the
Very
bathroom
often.
really fast. Can you do that again? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Aggressive
All right.
guitar player looking for Sane.
Can you do the Disney thing again?
We got a phone call from Nikki Sixx.
Mick showed up, and that was it.
Nikki and
Hi,
Tommy
my name is
thought Nick
Alphonse
had sort
McKenzie,
of
and you're
an
watching Disney
alien
Channel.
Look, and that was appealing to them.
They started collaborating a little bit. And auditions for a singer.
Tommy goes, hey, I know this guy who
That's how you
sings
get
great and he
super
looks
groups,
cool.
though.
His name's Vince.
You just have bands break up, and then the better members of each band get together and form another band.
Vince was
It's like
born
the cream
February
rises to the top.
1961 in England.
Like hell, if you think about it, fucking
was adorable.
Craig and Sean from fucking
Chubby,
Slipknot were in the
short,
same
Yeah,
band.
yeah.
Slipknot.
My wife had him on the
Also,
bed
so I
there.
have a
and
And they
question.
joined Slipknot, and
peered
Craig got
over
kicked out
to
recently.
watch, and all of a sudden he just
he left.
wee-weed all over my face.
Speaking of eyeliner,
Here, I'm
Juzo.
gonna
Learned not
message
to be
this and
so
then pin it
inquisitive
in our
anymore.
You else hear that? He just talked about some kid wee-weeing on his face.
Photogenic. One day they had this note
What?
But what happened to Boy's
and they
teeth?
saw him
Where
and
does
wanted to
teeth
take
go?
his picture.
What the fuck?
I put little Buster Brown short pants on him.
Oh,
and
he's so
high
cute.
top shoes.
Christ.
And they
Look at
took
the
his
baby.
picture and he made a calendar.
He would be kind of shy in front
That's
of
the
the
type of
Popping
guy
bottles?
I wanna-
Hey.
When you put him by himself in
child
front
you
of
wanna
more
punch growing
people,
up.
Yep.
then he was
That's a
another
baby
person.
shaped like a basketball.
Vince and his sister
A baby
both took
shaped like a
dancing
football, and
lessons.
it's
They
fourth and
took
long.
tap, They took ballet, and he loved to dress
Officer, I
up. He
drop
wore
kicked
A
the
that
lot of
child
members of Motley
self-defense.
Then as
Crue
he got a
took
little
ballet
older,
class.
They wanted to take ice skating lessons.
Sounds
about right, to be
I
honest.
was amazed.
Stage
All
presence.
these
Crew nowadays.
Jumps
So how was
and
ballet?
twirls and
Oh.
stuff that he was doing.
He was the best figure skater. He was number one.
The fucking
was
figure
number
skaters
He was
all
number
day.
one.
12 or 13
He
when
was-
we moved to Glendora.
He was number
When I first
one.
worked with Vince in 8th grade, he was very raw talent. Vince wanted to be part of the popular group of kids that played the instruments with the choir.
He loved
loved music.
He wanted to be a guitar player, but we already had some guitar players. Vince
Have y'all
was
seen
doing the
that
singing
fucking
primarily.
That
We did
biopic
some stuff
movie
from the
of
Rock
Motley
Opera
Crue?
Tommy.
No, not yet.
It was So a great way to get attention and a great way to be liked.
Vince loved the attention the girls gave him.
The girls made him
Nikki
feel
Sixx in
good.
that?
So Vince's direction was, gee, I need more of this.
I think it's a famous actor.
Yeah, so the guy who plays
I met Vince at Charter Oak High School. I was a big Van Halen fan at the time.
so the guy who plays as
I
Nikki
was looking
Sixx
to
is Douglas.
put something like that together.
Vince had the longest hair
Machine
on the
Gun
scroll,
Kelly
kinda
plays
looked like a
Tommy
rock
Lee.
star already.
Right.
I
Oh
thought he
my
looked a little
God.
like Dave Roth.
Daniel Weber
I asked
plays
Vince
Vince,
if he'd
and
sang,
some
and
guy
he said
named
he had
Ewan
sang in a band.
Liam.
He got into this band called Rock
Pete
Candy.
Davidson plays.
We got together at a
Thomas and
friend's house to play together. Vince was real timid and the voice was weak. We sang Hot Legs by Rod Stewart.
Tony Cavallero playing Ozzy Osbourne.
Trying to coach him into putting a little more oomph behind it. And that's when I was pretty sure he hadn't sang in a band before.
Oh no.
Rock Candy was doing a lot of
Oh, boy.
covers. Cheap Trick, some Eddie Money, Led Zeppelin.
As we played more and more things, Vince seemed to become more confident. His voice became stronger and bigger.
When Vince was on stage, he was a very different
Pretty
person.
sure it was called The
He
Dirt,
would
I
just
think. I
lose
think that's the
himself.
name of the movie.
He had so much
Yeah,
charisma
2019.
that he
About
could
the sex
really
tape with
get
Marilyn
the
Monroe,
audience
right?
Going.
The girls
Yeah.
loved him. I couldn't believe this was
No,
my
it's
boy.
probably in there somewhere.
I don't want to spoil anything for chat, but yes. Hey, Dad, what's up?
Vince switched from Charter Oak High School over to Royal Oak High School.
Vince and Tommy met through school.
You said
Tommy
dad.
played
You said
in the
dad.
US
I was like, your
101
dad.
No, not
Shut
dad.
up,
Beach
bro.
Boy stuff. They were like
Dad!
two shoes.
My
band.
dad! Dad!
It was dad!
Band.
Tommy looked up to Vince a lot. He
Winston, I
introduced
just
the
realized
Bad
your
Girls
name.
to Tommy. And Tommy loved it.
Everybody
Jeez,
thought Vince was
stop.
just like the
Who's
hottie.
that?
Vince was respected because he was the ladies' man.
Yo.
Vince's girlfriend was Tammy Jones.
They fell in love.
God damn, that's
Eventually,
some
they
action
had a
right
baby
there.
together.
Vince was 16 years old.
Having a baby at
Oh.
that young age, I think, added a lot of stress to Vince's life.
Uh-oh.
Vince started losing interest in school.
Hmm.
His grades started sliding. It got to the point where he just didn't want to go to school anymore.
When Vince dropped out of school, we were very upset because he had so much potential.
He was spending more and more time just in
They
music.
remind me of Vince's mom and dad wanted
Muriel
him
and
to have
Eustace
something
from
from
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
We were very
You
disappointed.
stupid dog.
We wanted him to be a lawyer
stupid
or a
dog.
doctor.
You
I
stupid
wanted
kid,
at
go
least
back to
a,
school.
high
You made
school
me look
diploma.
bad.
I didn't want him
made me
to
look
just be
bad
bouncing
from
from
the-
one
from the
job
men's
to another.
choir.
Vince had a little temper. He wanted things done his way, not our way. Vince moved out
Every
of the
time a
house when he
parent
was
is
17.
like, oh, I
was
want my child to be a
devastated.
lawyer or a
I
doctor,
wanted
I'm
him
like,
to
can you
come
think of
home.
anything
How
other than
could he
two
make
fucking
it in
options?
the music field?
Bro,
He
it's
was
these fucking edits
just a
from,
boy
like,
from Glendora.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
90s edits, like the smash
2000.
cuts.
There was like
Smash cuts and the
The more
zooms.
Rock Candy played,
There was
the
like
bigger the
one
crowds were getting.
hairstyle in
We
the
played
in
a
the
lot of
80s,
small
and it
clubs,
was
and then we
great.
worked our way into Hollywood.
We played the Starwood. It's a whole different trip. It's definitely a next step up.
Rock
To us,
Candy.
that was, you know,
My
as
dad
big
told
as
me
it
about
could
these
ever
guys.
get.
Rock Candy's playing, and
Their band.
Nikki
Oh, Rock
shows
Candy,
up.
yeah.
But I knew of Nikki from the band that he played in
pre-Motley
called
Crue.
London.
Tommy told Nikki about Vince being the singer of Rock Candy.
Nikki came and said, I found this new lead singer. It's this guy with this unusual voice. He's fronting a band called Rock Candy.
Vince said, there's this band that wants to pay me $150 a week to play with them.
Vince was pretty dedicated to our band at that time.
I go, $150? Buddy, anytime you can make money doing this thing, go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the look, his voice was a little
Money
suspect,
talk.
so we decided we go with the look and we'll have to work with the voice as we go.
Nikki had the final cog in his vision in getting Vince Neil. Once Vince joined, something really clicked.
Vince was on his way to be a rock
Meeting of
star.
Nikki and Vince
And
in
that's
the
what he
dirt.
wanted to
It's
be.
so weird.
And that was all there
They
was
have
to
a meet
it.
like at a pool party. I'm like, brother, I don't think. I really don't.
Tommy and Nikki and Vince and Mick finally hooked up. It just came together.
They seemed to have a good camaraderie
Like a bunch
and
of twinks.
seemed to
I mean,
click pretty
yeah,
good.
like that's what
My
hair metal was,
brother,
man.
John
Yeah,
was a roadie
it's a bunch of
for
skinny
Mick
guys
Mars.
with big hair.
And John gave us
They
a
just
call
had
saying
Blue
that
Tarts behind them
Mick
as a
had
backdrop.
just gotten together with a new group and we should come down and see them. My husband wanted to get involved in the music business.
Alan Kaufman had already made money doing real estate.
He came down and
real
looked
estate.
at him.
He met
Fuck,
with the
I was
group and
just
said,
about to do
okay,
that. I was
like
leaning
what
in
I
to do
see.
that.
Let's go ahead and cut a deal.
Oh, that was a fast
Alan
record
had a
deal.
lot of money and started pumping the money into the band.
The idea was you needed to spend money to make the group
these
look
motherfuckers
important,
belong quick.
to make them look like they had already hit number one.
Interesting.
Better equipment.
Sounds like what I'm doing with my VTuber.
Motley Crue.
Pump a bunch of money into it.
Spend money to make Alpha look important.
It was all coming from
Make it look
Nikki.
like he's already number one.
But Alpha, you are important.
You'd see
are number
Nikki
one.
and the
Sure,
other
Jan.
band members going around Hollywood plastering their posters on all the lampposts.
You was
Motley started playing clubs right away.
The first show was at the Starwood.
There were a lot of people there that were probably already fans of London, and this was Nikki's new band.
Number one
I was
is
like, what's this going to be about?
I said Alpha for me. Were Jaegerman Jensen.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his fucking name.
Smitty Jaegerman Jensen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was number one.
Aggressive.
I just flipped out. That was their first show, and just people went nuts.
Could
I was
somebody
all
make an
proud
edit of that with
them.
Elsa?
That's my brother.
Things were a little rusty, but you could tell the sound was there, the look was there, the energy was there.
It wasn't like, oh my God, this is going to go straight to the
Crew
moon.
is
They
shouting
really were
double.
jelly. They were determined.
There was something so outstandingly different with Motley Crue. You just couldn't help but say to yourself that these guys are either going to fall flat on their face
Fucking
or they're going
mustache
to go
on
right to
this
the
man.
top.
My God.
Extravagant.
Dude, he looks like
In
a
early
Three
1981 in
Musketeers.
LA, the new wave was probably the
Dude,
biggest.
he looks like an
scene going
iteration
on.
of Eggman.
Mostly either dance music or punk rock music.
Bands like X and Motels.
There was a lot of the knack in the car.
Oh, that was a
Those are
titty.
boobs, yeah.
There was like a
Oh, those are
skinny
titties.
pie, short-haired reality.
On Father's Day?
Like a
Motley
squad.
Crue just
Let's
represented
go.
the
Especially on
underdog
Father's Day.
because
Yeah,
there
on
wasn't a lot
Father's
of
Day.
metal.
It's about to
They
be
started
fun.
playing
That's about to be my
around,
Father's
and
Day.
at
Give
first
them
people were like,
titties.
"Mommy, what?"
God,
Give me some
What is
titties
it?
for Father's Day. I'll be
Look,
sick.
was something that nobody else was doing.
It was kind of girly, kind of freaky.
When I saw the way they dressed, you know, I was startled. Vince had makeup on better than I could ever put it on. They were saying that he looked like a transvestite.
A lot of guys might have felt threatened by that.
Nicky
Hello.
didn't want to take no shit from nobody. But if anybody gave him
Welcome to stream, Sahar.
he'd retaliate right back.
We are
Nicky
watching
was
Behind
fighting
the
with some
Music.
punk rockers out in front of the whiskey and got
Happy
beat up
steak and a
kind of
blowjob.
badly. Had a really gnarly black eye. But he
Oh,
thought
that
it was
today.
cool.
Sorry?
Motley Crue were definitely
Yeah.
the street tough kids.
It's Father's Day.
Father's Day is taking a blowjob day as well.
We arranged for an apartment for them.
Mr. Kaufman put him up in a sleazy apartment, and it was awful.
There is something
Motley
cool about a
Crue
dude that
lived on
rocks
Clark
makeup.
Street, just a half a block above
Hi,
the
I'm the
whiskey.
guy who rocks
Tommy
makeup.
called me up. Oh, you gotta see, we got a first
You still don't
apartment,
know
you
who this
so I said,
is?
well, all right, what number is it? He goes, don't worry.
It's Motley
you'll find
Crue.
out."
They said it like it
was
says in the top
coming
right
off the
corner.
hinges.
It's
There was a
okay.
mountain of beer cans
Kalulu's a
There
bit
was
young
one
for
plant in the
to know
corner.
who Motley
Oh,
Crue
okay,
is.
okay.
They're
Hi,
part of my
Torn.
community.
Every time they did a show, there was
It's
an after party.
Torn.
They'd announce on stage, hey, everybody, there's a party at the house tonight. Come on up the street.
Next thing you know, half of LA is showing up.
People just drinking.
There was girls everywhere, wall-to-wall girls.
Blonde, big tits, little clothing. They all want Nikki 6.
There
Made me
was one
fucking
alone
pop
half
up.
naked in there.
Nikki
I
Six, give your
hated it.
dicks.
It was better than the Miss America beauty pageant or Hugh Hefner swimming pool.
I'd walk into rooms and just be astonished. I hadn't seen that kind of stuff in my life before.
I would hear all the reports about them getting wilder and crazier.
And then the cops had kicked down the door so many times that there was no more lock on the door.
Come on in, Bob.
Nah, come on in. The drugs are fine.
I wasn't looking in the corner. I don't think I've ever listened to music before. You should. It's actually really good. They have like maybe 6 songs that are like really fucking slapping, but the rest is kind of meh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only way that Alan and I had
Here
to
you go, Jesus.
control what the guys did at all was through money.
Basically, the group was put on an allowance.
If you want
Yeah, Torn
money, you
Jesus
have
here.
to conduct yourself in a certain way.
He gave him $20 each a week to live on.
They have an allowance. The rock stars have an allowance.
Jay, fuck you.
They were basically just living off
boys.
of whoever
Rattling
helped them out
boys.
at the time.
The money they did have, they would drink it. You know, they would party with it.
I brought a McDonald's
Hey,
when I
whiskey,
walked in. I
just
had
like
French fries.
Dude,
and they would
now you
split 'em
can't
up.
even
They
get
would
that
count 'em.
bottle
One
of
for
Jack
you, one
Daniels for
you,
20
one
bucks.
For you.
No.
And I'm going, this
it's
is
like
really
25
sad.
yeah.
You guys want some bologna or something?
Living like rock stars. Some baloney or something,
You've been
bro.
doing this for a long time.
That's
The
how
guys
Alpha
used to rag
lives,
on him for
right?
being the old
This
man.
sustains
but
on
he'd been
hot
there,
dogs.
done
I mean,
that
hot
so many
dogs, yeah,
times in
but
LA club scene,
takoyaki.
He wanted to get out of it.
Takoyaki
Never
and
had
hot
that
dogs.
teenage angst thing.
You have a
It
name
was
for
always
takoyaki,
Tommy
though,
and
'cause you
Nikki
work in the
and
place for
Vince.
it. What is it?
Terrible threesome. They hung out at the Rainbow until 2 o'clock every
Jesus,
night.
I don't
One
know what
time
it
they
is
were
about
doing
like old
lines
school
of coke on
rockers
the
and
table.
wet hair, but it don't
And
mix.
there were girls underneath the table. And
It don't
I'm not going to
mix.
venture to what they were doing exactly.
Sucking dick.
Sounds like 2 times the blow right there.
Too Fast for Love record on Leather Records, which was their own record company.
We self-produced the first album under Kaufman and Kaufman Productions.
What they had recorded at the time was really raw. It was just straightforward rock and roll.
That guy,
Over the next
guy who's
year,
talking,
the
you can't
plan
tell
was
if his eyes
to
want to like
have
stay in
them
his
play
head or
as much
pop
as
out.
possible.
There was
You can't tell.
apparently some sort
He's
of
always
demand
looking
Same with
for
her. She looks like
big
she's
freaks.
high. Like she's just.
Everybody
shows up
ages,
with
man.
But you
caffeine.
had another population from the suburbs,
It's probably
and
how they got
they're
them
the
to
ones
do
that
this
actually
interview.
supported Motley
You give them
Crue.
caffeine or heroin.
They sold out a weekend the whiskey, and there was a line going up the street.
We were upstairs in the dressing room.
Because they
Tommy
get to,
looks
like,
out
you
the
know,
window and he's like,
live,
oh
you
my
know.
God, you got to
Yeah.
come
Stop
see
being
this.
just
There was
suburban.
a line of people. I mean, out the parking lot and down the Sunset
You guys want to know a
Strip.
funny story about lines? So I was at a convention one time, and I noticed, I looked outside, and there was a massive line that like wrapped around the block, right?
Yeah.
And it was outside of where we were signing, like all the voice actors. And I'm like, holy shit, guys, look at all this. And I pulled everybody from their tables. I'm like, guy, AJ, come here, look at all this. Look at all this lines ready for people to come and like hang out with us and get autographs and stuff. And then one of the event coordinators came up to us and they're like, sorry, that's not your line. That is Lily Pichu's line. Your line is over there. And it was like 15 people.
Winnie General.
Winnie General.
I think you went that line over there.
And we were all just like, it is 2023. We are not important anymore.
I'm driving
Here's
down
your
Sunset
goober meal,
Boulevard,
sir.
and
I'm gonna
all
toilet
of a
that.
sudden I see
Thanks.
kids lined up down the block to
Toilet
get into a show,
Thanks.
and I look up on the
I love you,
marquee, and it's
toilet
Motley
Slapped in
Crue
the
sold out.
face.
I'm like, I got to see what this is about. For an hour and 20 minutes, the crowd just went berserk. And I decided from that moment, if
I don't know what
everybody
it
in
was
this
about,
room
like,
would go
dudes
this crazy
back
for this
then
band, this
who
group is
didn't know
huge.
anything about cheek
I
makeup. They
went
would
to
just
the
draw
next
giant
show, and
triangles
I
on their
met them
cheeks
and
to like
offered them a deal.
symbolize
It didn't
cheekbone,
work,
like shadow. I'm like, brother.
When did we
you
get
look like a
80s
skeleton.
rocker alpha?
The new management team at Elektra had their
I
own
mean,
way of doing things
and
their
that'd be
own
cool.
vision for the group.
That'd be
Alan
awesome.
Kaufman was definitely not a record
But
company.
Get Alpha.
Patella is
Get
already
Alpha
working
and
like
how
really
the
hard on
records
my outfits,
were.
and I don't want to make
They
them
should
work
have
on
been
anything
playing in
else.
bigger places.
If somebody wants to draw out an 80s rocker,
Motley
then-
Crue felt
Oh, yeah,
that
you're fine to
talent
do
could
that. My
take
hair's
it to the
long
next
enough.
level.
Yeah, give him a
Motley Crue
perm.
dropped us.
Do it.
We
Somebody
spent
get on
a
that.
great deal of money
They
on them and
really
ended up
blurred
with
the
nothing.
middle finger. You
Kaufman,
fucking
Kaufman.
kidding me?
Hey, this
It's
was
not
network
work.
television,
managers,
okay?
they did
What's up,
the best
Aaron?
they
Stop,
They blurred
dude.
They had
titties
bigger
earlier too,
ideas.
so I mean, you know.
They didn't blur the titties. It was a skin suit.
The band really wanted
You
to
just
get a
see the
strong
nipples
manager
from
behind them.
I was
It was the
packaging
skin
an
suit,
Aerosmith
yes. So let
tour,
me get this straight.
and I got a
The
call.
person wearing it blurred the titties themselves.
Doug said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
What did you
open
miss?
up a
Not much. We're
management
watching
company, and I'm
Behind the
gonna have a
Music, the
partner
rise and rise
who
of
will
Motley
be
Crue.
interested in helping break Motley Crue.
Ted told me about this psycho
The
band.
Heiress.
He said, "Well, let's fly out and see what they
The
look like."
Heiress on Father's Day.
That guy definitely looks like a records
Motley Crue
VH1 was Fame, MTV. I guess
1982.
VH1
and
actually
I thought it
focused
was
on a lot of
phenomenal
music.
show.
They were getting heavily into the pyrotechnic.
These guys lit themselves on fire and all the craziest stuff you could possibly do.
It was a three-ring circus.
It was pretty insane.
I looked at
Is
this and I
VH1
said,
still
this just needs to be
around?
taken
I
from
don't think
town
so.
to town.
Duh.
Oh, it is
country,
apparently.
around
Is it?
the
Okay.
world. This'll
It's,
work.
I think it
Next
might
day we
only
had a
be
meeting with the
online.
band and signed them.
That doesn't surprise me.
When Doug and I took Motley Crue, it wasn't really a band. It was more like a gang. They were just these four guys that were completely whacked.
We felt we had to
Whack.
have a
Oh, that's
plan that
cool,
would
though.
have
They have,
almost
like,
immediate
on their
results.
fr-
The alcohol
on the front
and
page, they have a lot of,
substance abuse
pride
was such
stuff
that
and, like,
we couldn't take
amplifying,
5 years to
black
turn
voices
this
and
into
stuff
something,
like that.
or
It's
this
cool.
organism would destroy itself.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of their shows are
Electric
either
moved
online
to New
or on
York, and
Pluto
Bob
TV.
Krasnow was put in charge.
Bob Krasnow didn't get this band.
Electra was the home of
fun
Linda
fact
Ronstadt,
about
Jackson
Motley
Brown,
Crue's name.
Joni
They
Mitchell.
actually got their
We
name
showed them
from a
pictures of
band
Motley
called White
Crue, and They were just hysterical.
So,
Is this
what's
Midnight
the-
Owl? No. I wish.
So Mars used to be in this band called White Horse. I remember
Krasnow
hearing
said, I don't want that music on this
talking
label.
about
Elektra is going to be
Motley
a label
Crue
for real
and call it saying they looked.
artists. I'm not really interested
called the
in
group a
selling
motley
music to
looking
people
crew.
who live in the gutter.
They didn't know much about this metal world.
We thought, well, we have to make a
Varied in
plan to
appearance.
keep this band on the label and turn Krasnow around.
That's a really cool dynamic that they said. Like that record label is like, we're gonna have artists play metal music, and then we're not gonna sell music
weren't
to
going to get radio. It wasn't a radio
people who are
program
homeless.
that wanted
You
to
know
play
what I mean?
Motley Crue.
People who live in the
No,
gutter.
it's that they didn't want to use that. Okay.
Yes, yes.
This guy
wanna
from
use Motley
Apple
Crue.
Computers decides that he wants to throw the
Motley
California
means
Woodstock called the US Festival.
incongruously
Three-day festival out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
We had a
Or
historical
historical.
some
The
favors
part
and everything else to get on it.
And they had a great lineup:
costume
Quiet
of a
Riot,
jester.
Triumph, Judas Priest, Scorpions.
So it could have been either
Ozzy,
it could have been a compliment to their
Van
group,
Halen.
or he was calling them a joke.
Ever seen that many people in my life?
You heard
Damn.
the numbers of any place
Oh
from
my
250 to
God.
300,000.
That's funny.
Quiet Riot started the show off, and Motley came on second.
Quiet Riot.
Flipping out.
Getting his hairline was so far back. That's not even funny. Oh my god.
They stunk. They were an embarrassment.
They played horrible.
Oh, that is kind of
People were
sad.
missing background vocal cues.
I could see their nervousness.
They just went up there and raced through a set. You could hardly tell what song they were playing.
Oh god.
Westwood One was there with their mobile truck recording. Tommy was so embarrassed that he was actually sobbing. He said, "You've got to find a way to stop Westwood One from airing this. This is terrible."
But it wasn't about Motley Crue playing.
What matters is how the audience reacts, more so than how well you play.
When Motley Crue came on, the kids were just nuts.
They went in there as a band that played clubs and came out of there knowing that 200,000 people went totally berserk for them.
Okay. We're watching VH1 Behind the Music.
They came off the US Festival, and
this
they
was the
started
song I
to make
played a
Shout at the
lot
Devil
of
with
on
Tom
guitar.
Warner.
My job was
What,
get
Shout
this
at the
band on the
Devil?
Hey,
radio.
Kara.
When we went into the studio,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy and Mick
Same.
were the two easiest people to work with by far. Nicky and Vince took time.
I get a screaming phone call from Tom Werman. "This guy can't play the bass," meaning Nicky. I said, "No shit, he never could. He's an entertainer, he's a songwriter, but he's a bass player."
Nicky was
I
real
makes
good
me
about
wonder
putting
if he
songs
actually ever
together
learned how
that
to
were
play bass.
anthems.
Probably
He
not.
knew how to
No,
hook that
I
piece
don't
of
think he did.
music so that people would have something to sing along to.
Minty
Looks
High.
to Kill.
Looks to Kill, the first time I heard it, I thought, there it is. There's the one that we launch a career behind.
Here's an opportunity to create a signature MTV hard rock band.
We started getting some airplay.
The Looks That Kill video created a whole buzz. Here you have visual band, visual medium, teenage rebellion, music that parents hate. It
Yeah.
all connects. The next piece of the puzzle was to get them a tour.
Enter Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne. They were gracious enough to give us a spot on the tour.
It was a marriage made in heaven. The craziest young kids in the world with the craziest rock and roller in the world, all in one package.
Yeah, what a great marriage.
People came to see
Isn't he a
Ozzy,
dick?
and
Yeah,
then
it was-
Motley Crue was
Ozzy?
awesome.
Yeah,
You guys learned
Ozzy.
so much from watching Ozzy.
I feel like he's just.
He was crazy, but he wasn't an asshole.
Okay. Yeah.
There was a fucking story about Ozzy and Motley. So Motley was staying in a
grew as a
hotel
band,
with
they knew how to
Ozzy
hold
during this tour,
audiences.
and apparently Ozzy had a moment where he
People would throw their
snorted
fists in the air and
live
chant.
ants
They
off
brought you
of
in and said,
the
See,
concrete
he's crazy,
near
but he's
the
not a
hole.
bad
We are
guy.
one.
He's not a
cult-like
bad
feel.
guy, but he was drunk
Tour
as
with
hell. They
Ozzy
were on like a
was the
bender.
one that
Oh, she
sealed
snores
Motley's
ants.
destiny.
And he said, "Dude, we have a hit."
Taking my beers from my room, taking the beers out of my room.
I don't think anybody.
Now the record company gets amnesia. They don't
I don't
remember
think
ever
anybody did.
not
He
liking
just
Motley
goes,
Crue. So, oh, yeah,
and it goes
headband.
back into
When I saw the way the fans were reacting,
Fucking
I just
Ozzy was
thought,
on
oh,
some
man,
shit
they're gone.
that episode.
He's always on shit, but he's so cool.
He puts ice in his cereal? What the fuck?
He drank
What a
fucking
madman.
bat blood.
He ate a bat. He didn't eat it. He spat it out.
Bat of Motley Crue.
Yeah, he took one bite.
Concept,
And the funny thing is, he
his
didn't even
dream.
think it was a real bat. He thought it was a rubber
the
one.
Right guys to help him achieve
Hi,
it.
Julia, what's up?
He did, because somebody tossed that at him, and he was under the impression it was like a toy, so he bit the head of it. And then
one of the best
the
rock
first reaction he
It
had
was
was just
unbelievable
copper in
to
his
us
mouth.
that Vince turned out the
Because
way
he
he
realized
did.
what was going on.
Still to this day, I cry at every concert.
When Mick
Yeah, now we
showed
just
up
get
in
bras
Motley
and
Crue,
panties on stage.
I was
What are
shocked. The
bring
guy
back
that
the
I
days
met
of throwing
living in the gutter,
live
is
animals?
the most famous person that
I'm gonna throw a kangaroo on
Totally
stage. Hold on.
fulfilled and surpassed his dream.
Dude,
Doing
just
good,
like
Julia. Thank you for asking.
hold up like a tiny baby rabbit
My
to a
mom
singer on
and I
stage.
were
And they'll
just
be
in
like, what the
awe.
fuck?
It was like, oh my gosh.
Nah, dude,
Do that to Ed
He's done
Sheeran.
this.
I'm
And
gonna get my
look, he's
fucking
good at
trained
it.
hunting
Everybody thought
falcon
he was going to be
Xerxes to
enough,
come up
and then
and
he
just
turned out to be.
When they're 90 years old,
Right on
the members of Motley Crue will
Dude,
still
you do that at like a
be
rock and roll
stars.
concert. They'll be fucking into it.
They would be, yeah. That's the thing. Most rock bands
But you
are
do that
like
to a Taylor
high
Swift
most of
concert.
the time. Yeah, you do that on a Taylor Swift concert and you get canceled the next day.
Well, that's it. We're done.
Hey, you,
That
are
was
you
it?
playing jigsaw puzzles?
There's a lot of shit that they did that they just didn't talk about. What?
Dude,
Okay, all right.
Jay.
We don't want to talk about it because it's too good for
It's
television.
too sensitive. All right, do you guys want to do? Okay. Here's three more options.
Fleetwood.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses.
I kind of want to
Snoop
hear
Dogg?
Snoop Dogg.
I don't know if Snoop Dogg was your dad's thing.
Yeah, that's not a very dad thing. We have
No,
Guns N'
your
Roses.
dad.
Snoop
My dad,
Dogg,
yeah. Your dad, no. I'm
Fleetwood
sure about.
Mac.
Bro, where's the VH1 on Godsmack, man? That's real dad metal right there.
Oh my
see.
god.
I don't want to say Motley Crue. Guns N' Roses. Let's just do Behind the Music. Let's see if any of these are. How many we got
Def
here?
Leppard.
Ooh, Def Leppard. That's a good one.
Ooh.
They were the biggest selling rock band.
Yeah, this is a proper Behind the Music.
Proper one, right here.
Right, proper Behind the Music. Okay, anybody who's new to stream, thank you so much for being here. Also, why are you sorry? What are you sorry for? What did you do? Oh God, Eris.
Yes, what
If
you
you're new to stream, oh my God, it's Rummy. Am I in trouble? She got the
That's
tramp
probably
stamp. Let's
what
go.
they was talking about,
Let's fucking go! That's what I like to hear. I mean, I probably you probably don't like to hear that.
Stamp. Hey,
So
yo.
Rummy is a friend of the show, also leader of the Southside Skinks. Very, very, very wonderful person. And they were playing with their chat, and if their chat won, their chat got to decide a bunch of like temporary tattoos that last a while. And by a while, we mean a couple of weeks. So apparently, Rummy's gonna get a tramp stamp. Which one's gonna be the tramp stamp, Rummy? Which
Wait,
one?
Rummy's
2 weeks.
friends with Cookie, right?
Is
Cookie
it gonna be the
and
Midnight
Crimbo,
Howl
yeah.
logo?
Yeah, dude, I fucking love Crimbo, man.
Oh yeah, Crimbo's making it. Oh fucking A,
Crimbo's
man.
sweet, dude.
I love Crimbo. Okay,
I
Crimbo
do
gets to
too.
design whatever he wants
That's
for the
the
tramp
homie.
stamp.
That's-
You're
that's
just
one of the
giving him
homies right
carte
there.
blanche. Giving him carte blanche to do whatever the fuck he wants. That sounds awesome.
Oh
Hi
my
guys. Also, thank you so much for the raid, Rummy. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Alphonse McKenzie. Alpha Aniki for short, and I am the best big brother you never had. I try and do laid back big bro vibes in my VTuber form, but in my alter ego, I'm a voice actor. I'm Jonas Scott, voice actor of Lego She and fucking Aiden Caldwell in Dying Light 2, and the House Husband in Way of the House Husband, and Joe and Skate the Infinity, and a bunch of other shit. Well, Rummy subbed. And Kokushibo and Demon Slayer. I'm Upper Moon 1 and Demon Slayer.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
But we are here with our friends, and yeah, really, we are watching. Oh my God, Rummy, why? Please, Rummy,
Do
thank
it
you for the
again.
gift sub. Thank you for the gift subs to Julian Nightmare, Finn, Flair for the win, Draconius Hybrid, and Lumpkey. I voice a lot of other people, but you know, go to my BTVA and figure that out. But today it is Father's Day, and you know what my dad and I used to do on Father's Day is we grill up a couple of steaks and we sit down and we watch VH1 Behind the Music. So we are watching VH1 Behind the Music. And this one in particular, we just finished watching Motley Crue, crazy guys. But now we're watching Def Leppard. Fun fact, Def Leppard has a drummer that only has one arm. He drums with one arm.
Heard any news from the other provinces?
They made a special drum set for him so that he could drum really well with one arm. Yeah, one arm. Yeah, he's super good.
Shout out to accessibility.
Shout out to accessibility in metal, baby. But thank you for the raid, Rummy. I really do appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to you. And I hope any fathers in chat are also having a great Father's Day with the ones that are important to them. Rummy, are you a drummer? Do I not know about that? Are you a drummer? Because I'm a drummer. Which
we all drummers? Do we
all
all know how to play the drums?
We know how to play the drums?
I used to play the drums a lot.
Yeah, and 5 gifted subs.
I don't have a kit.
Also drummer. I am a drummer. We gotta do a drum. We gotta drum together, so man. You bought our drum set. So this is a little. I have a debut on June 30th. I'm re-debuting with 2 new models, 2 new outfits. My band, ! Is it Midnight Howl? Is that the right one? Right, your command? But I have a band. We have 2 songs out right now. If you would like to go check that out, we have 2 new songs coming with a music video on the 30th. We got a lot of stuff happening on the 30th. So please, if you can get here, try and get here. But I was gonna keep this a secret. But we are gonna be doing drumming streams starting on the 30th too. I'm gonna show off. I got an electric drum kit, and we're gonna be drumming on stream just as like for fun. We'll be doing all sorts of fun shit. I can plug in my electric kit and pipe the MIDI in here, and we can just drum.
God, you got that like a year ago.
I did. I just never have it. Like, it's got to set it up and shit. Especially, also my fucking my 2 PC setup I have to get in work.
Also, do you want to borrow my keyboard if you want?
Your MIDI keyboard. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, please. You know what? I'm gonna play. I can do this. I'm allowed to do this. I'm gonna play 20 seconds of our newest song that's going to be coming out.
What? Oh, wait, no,
I'm only showing this to you. We're going to play 20 seconds of our newest song called Neon Glow that is going to be coming out on the 30th. And it sounds really good. We're going to play the chorus of Neon Glow for you guys. A little bit of a treat for everybody that comes in and raids. And just take a listen. Take a listen to this. If it plays. Please play. Oh shit. Pretty loud. There you go. That's the
Dude, that was on.
That was hot.
Yeah, I know, it was really loud. It was very, very loud.
I've already said I'm gonna do a cover of that shit after it releases, I guarantee you.
Please do, yeah.
I will. I got you.
I'm also gonna play the chorus of the second song that's coming out, which I actually managed to find, guys, called Devil That You Know. Again, on the 30th, we're gonna be doing a Streamly collab too. The Streamly collab is going to have all of our album covers available to buy, and I will be signing those album covers that weekend. We have 4 wonderfully designed album covers by an English rock album cover designer, graphic designer by the name of Lewis. He designs all of our album covers. But yeah, that's me singing. But here's the verse for the second song.
I'm with the devil. I signed away my head. And the lights keep swirling and heads keep turning. If I stop running, I'll wind up with the devil.
There you go. That's all you get. I'm not allowed to show anymore. My manager's gonna fucking kill me. All right. If I show anymore, my manager's gonna eat my asshole.
That's another one I'm gonna do.
Not in a good way.
And not in a good way. But again, today, if you would like to stick around, I really do appreciate that. We are the re-debut is going to be me essentially relaunching the entire channel. We have
proud of you.
Chibi model. We're going to have a low poly 3D model, and a bunch of really fun stuff that's just going to change, like quality of life stuff that's going to change. But yeah, thank you so much for the raid, Rummy. I hope you stick around. We're gonna watch this. VH1 Behind the Music on Def Leppard. You came in just as we're starting it, so you're missing absolutely nothing. You literally came in as I was about to press the play button.
So fucking good on
You also need an allowance since you're a rock star now.
I'm a rock star. Can I have $20 a week like Motley Crue, Mom?
No, I can give you 15 cents and a hair clip. How's that sound?
Thanks, Mom.
That's all we got.
I need
Harris?
$37 for
I
inflation.
can give you a haunted doll and maybe a half pack of cigarettes. How does that sound?
I will pay
Are they
you to
menthols?
finish it. I will pay you to
No,
finish it,
not
Harris.
menthols.
That's how it
Fuck.
works. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Oh my God! They held the center ring of the rock and roll circus through a frenzied decade marked by stadium-sized excess.
When you're the next biggest act to Michael Jackson and you've come out of nowhere, you can't expect to be level-headed. It's impossible.
We were young enough to be naive enough to use that as an excuse for everything that we did.
It was like we'd been let loose in a sweet shop.
And under the stage, it would be like Sodom and Gomorrah. It would be 16
I love
naked
it.
girls.
We totally need the
But
Brits.
for Def Leppard, every successful high was undercut by staggering lows.
We weren't going to die.
The anime poster is
That
still on the
wasn't
waiting
gonna
list?
happen to
Dude,
us, you know, we
I'll
learned
just
the
invoice me. I'll
pitfalls,
pay you for these things.
supposedly.
Got that
But the
British
partying
Riz.
took its toll. Alcohol drove one member out of the band.
I felt I needed to have a drink to go on stage.
And drinking drove another to an early grave.
The alcohol in his blood was double what killed John Bonham.
Def Leppard's horrific bad luck took another brutal twist with the near-fatal car crash of their drummer.
And it was almost like some weird nightmare, standing up in this field and just saying, you know, well, I've lost my arm and I'm a drummer.
But Leppard survives, established themselves as members of the rock aristocracy, playing to over 1 million people at Live 8. And after 30 years as a band, are still driven by dreams and ambition.
My ambition is to get us up there with the Pink Floyds and the Zeppelins and the Who and the Stones and the Beatles. Whether we ever achieve that, I don't know.
Stabbing fingers and whistling.
Served the double shot of success and misfortunes, Def Leppard may be rock's most blessed and cursed band. Tonight, the tragedy and triumph of Def Leppard, the story behind the music.
They're probably not going to be good.
Oh yeah, now this is behind the music, baby. Fuck yeah.
Sounds like the fucking How It's Made
In the Fast and Furious 80s, they blazed at the center of the Stadium Rock universe. Signed in their teens, pin-up pop stars by their early 20s, Def Leppard smashed box office records wherever they played.
We sold Detroit out faster than Led Zeppelin did. We were talking in telephone numbers now instead of like pocket money.
It wasn't such long time before that. We were still working in factories and things like this. To all of a sudden becoming the biggest thing since sliced bread. It was just really weird. And then multiple shows, you know, 20,000 a night, doing 3 nights in a row. It was like, whoa, where did this come from? I'm barely out of school, barely even out of diapers, and I'm sitting out there playing, playing drums in a grown-up business. My childhood got condensed. Their popularity skyrocketed with the explosion of MTV. They were the first young rockers to aggressively market themselves through music videos. And unlike many hard rock bands, Def Leppard scored big with female fans.
It was great to see 60% females at the gig. You know, they scream louder, they dance. And let's be honest, there was 5 horny men on stage that are attracted to women. I was being dragged off into some bathroom by some dirty little girl in a miniskirt, you know, and that suited me fine.
I love this shit, man. This is what I live for.
Their album Pyromania sold 10 million copies. Their follow-up Hysteria sold 15 million more. On tour, Def Leppard ruled the wide, wild world of arena rock, where their popular success was matched only by their personal excess.
You know, they had carte blanche. They had everything they wanted. Plus, they had people shoving drinks in their faces, putting lines up their noses.
But I mean, they really were the party band. All these bands here, Metallica, and Motley Crue, you know, you sit there and think they were so tough. I mean, you couldn't touch Def Leppard for it. It's just the fact they hit it really, really well.
Okay. They were on top of the world, but nothing could have prepared them for the series of tragedies that would haunt them in the years to come.
Rick's had a car crash, he's lost his arm.
It nearly died, nearly lost the other one as well. Rick Allen had lost his limb, and soon Steve Clark would lose his life.
He never wanted to face his pain, is really what it boiled down to. He hurt too much.
You just see a friend almost deteriorating in front of your eyes, and you just feel so helpless.
And his heart was just, beating, trying so hard to stay alive. But really, he was really slowly trying to kill himself.
Damn.
Def
Def Leppard's fateful journey began in Sheffield, England in 1977. Rock and roll was their chance to escape a dismal future in the steel mills.
We were so desperate to get out of that whole thing. The whole industrial aspect of Sheffield was imploding. Factories were closing down. They were falling down. And we were prepared to do anything, you know. Bank robbing, anything to work in a factory.
Joe Elliott and Rick Savage joined musical forces with guitarist Pete Willis and drummer Tony Kenning. Joe had the energy and the drive. He became the band's engine.
Joe just happened to say, I've had this imaginary band for 2 years now, and I've even made posters of it. Great, we've already got the name. And I was like, we're off.
The spelling of their name was soon changed, ironically mimicking that of Led Zeppelin. But it was the addition of guitarist Steve Clark that helped Def Leppard create a sound all their own.
His audition was Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd, and he just did the whole thing on his own, and it was like, wow, this guy's amazing, and he looked great. He wore his guitar too low, he was too thin, and he had really long blonde hair, denim jacket with no shirt on, and he had a waist about this wide, and it was like, just amazing.
By day, they held down blue-collar jobs. After work, they rehearsed. For 9 long months, they rocked the night away in an abandoned spoon factory on Bramall Lane.
At one point, he got very desperate because I wanted to play so bad live, and these guys just wanted to keep on rehearsing and polishing it and polishing it. And I said, well, I could be here in 10 years' time and still be rehearsing this bloody spoon factory. I said, Joe, if we don't do a gig soon, that's it, I'm going to find another group.
July 18th, 1978, Def Leppard's first public appearance before a crowd of 150 kids, mostly 14 and 15-year-old girls. It set the tone for the many wild years to come. But Joe Elliott wasn't content to be a local hero. He was looking for a fast track to rock and roll star.
It took literally 6 shows for me to turn around to everybody else and say, I don't want to do these tiny little DOS holes for the next 3 years at the hope that an A&R man sponsors.
I got my headset on, though. I can hear
there
everything.
has to be a shortcut.
Joe borrowed $250 from his father to make their own record, which sold an amazing 24,000 copies. Good fortune continued to smile on the band when a 15-year-old drummer named Rick Allen saw an article entitled "Leppard Loses Skins."
I'd been playing since about 9 or 10, and I was getting really fed up with the local scene, and I asked my mum to call, and she did. And I got to meet Joe and Steve.
With Rick providing the beat, Def Leppard burst onto the hard rock scene like seasoned veterans, though their average age was only 18.
For a band our age, there's nobody to touch us. That was our thing. And in fairness, I still to this day don't think there was.
All right, pay attention, class. Pay attention.
By August 1979, just 12 months after their first gig, the boys signed a record deal and released their first album, On Through the Night. Touring in support of bands like AC/DC and Sammy Hagar, their high-energy stage act was an immediate hit.
Alvin McKenzie have to slap a bitch?
Please?
They were absolutely brilliant. Very colourful, very energetic.
I felt my
it was all action. In fact, in a way, it kind of prefigured a lot of the kind of rock bands that we got used to in the 80s. You know, in the 70s, they tend to stand fairly still, and Leppard clearly weren't like that. They really were like puppies just let loose.
In early 1981, Def Leppard began recording their second album, High and Dry, marking the start of their collaboration with producer Mutt Lange, a studio perfectionist who became the unofficial sixth Leppard. But trouble was brewing, and as they toured the U.S. with Ozzy Osbourne, guitarist Pete Willis found himself increasingly out of step with the band.
Pete back then would readily have gone in the ring with Mike Tyson after a few pints of beer.
With Pete Willis on the brink of self-destruction, the group spent several months in 1982 recording their third album, Hyromania. Producer Mutt Lange set the pattern for the group's workaholic recording routine, a painstaking process of rewrites and retakes.
There was a lot of tears shed on that record, and a lot of drumsticks thrown, and a lot of guitars slammed down, and a lot of, I can't sing anymore, I've lost it. Because do it again, do it again. The motor was like a train. Do it again, do it again, do it again.
That sounds
As the grueling Pyromania sessions wore on, Pete Willis's problems with the bottle could no longer be ignored.
I just really got out of my brains one night, you know, drank a bottle of brandy or something like that, and I was very ill. I shouldn't have gone into the studio the next morning.
And we thought he was joking. We tried the take again, and I said, Pete, listen, you're going to have to go back to Sheffield and just cool out and come back when you've actually got yourself together.
We gave him what we call a Spanish archer. Elbow. He had to go.
Oh, no.
Charmingly British. It ain't easy being a rocker boy. You're goddamn right,
Phil Collin from the glam rock band Girl to replace Pete Willis.
Phil came in like a breath of fresh air. It did us the power of good. It gave us a new injection of life.
Finally, in 1983, after a long year in the studio, Pyromania was released and began a 92-week run on the U.S. charts, where it remained locked at #2 for 6 months, behind Michael Jackson's Thriller.
And we started that tour off playing the Marquee Club in London, which is about 800 people. We finished the tour 9 months later in Jack Murphy Stadium, which was 55,000 people or so.
With their star on the rise, the band soon fell prey to the pitfalls of life on the road. On stage, they were conquerors. Backstage, they were under siege. Coming up next, the high-speed wreck that would threaten a young drummer's life.
I guess as I rolled this car, the seatbelt was the thing that actually took my arm off.
And Steve Clark slips into an abyss of alcoholic despair.
Steve Clark was undoubtedly the unhappiest millionaire rock star I've ever met in my life.
They were like
when Behind the Music continued.
Cut the things. It was wild.
In 1983, with the release of their third album, Pyromania, Def Leppard had taken the rock world by storm. Soon, their success met with excess.
You go and be polite and, you know, have a beer at the bar, and then when you shut yourself away in a room, that's when you get down to the serious drinking and drug taking.
We'd be offered things, and sometimes you just have to experiment, you know? You see a little cat, see a hole in a wall, sticks his head through. Maybe a dog will bite his head off the other side, maybe not.
It was a complete hoot. I loved it, you know. Me and Steve used to get into a lot of trouble, usually involving drink and girls and that usual stuff.
Early
Steve
90s.
and Phil were a team. They were a team off the stage, and they were a team on the stage.
Whereas Aerosmith had the Toxic Twins, we had the Terror Twins.
An affectionate term for the pair of them.
We never let it overtake us. We've never gone on stage incapable of playing. And Steve, even at his worst, never went on stage drunk.
By late 1983, Def Leppard had sold more than 6 million records and played to sell-out crowds around the world. They retreated to Ireland to work on the follow-up album, Hysteria. But old habits die hard for these rough and tumble rockers.
We went through an astonishing amount of alcohol when we lived in Booterstown in Dublin. We started saving the bottles after about the 10th day because we thought it'd be funny to see what we got through. We had piled up in the corner of one room 170-odd bottles of vodka, 150-odd bottles of scotch, and just a mountain of beer cans.
For me, it was I had to stop completely. I couldn't do the kind of social drinker, glass of wine thing. I tried that in the past, and it was glass of wine, bottle of wine. By the end of the week, it was Jack Daniels, and so I quit completely.
When Phil stopped drinking, Steve lost his drinking partner and felt more isolated.
Stopping wasn't even on his agenda.
We'd been together long enough to notice that, you know, there was a little too much drinking involved, and I went to the band and I approached them about it, and I said, you know, I think Steve's really got a drinking problem. And they just passed it off like, oh, you know, Steve's always liked a bit of the drop, and you're just having marriage problems.
In mid-1984, the band went back into the studio to record Hysteria. When recording paused for the Christmas break, they returned home for the holidays. On New Year's Eve, drummer Rick Allen and his girlfriend Miriam Berenson were driving near Rick's parents' home in rural England.
When I was driving down the road in the Corvette, this red Alfa Romeo came screaming around the corner. He slowed up to the point where I started having to slow up. I tried to pass him, and every time I tried to pass him, this guy would speed up again. I lost my temper to the point where I don't even remember going around the corner. I guess as I rolled this car, the seatbelt was the thing that actually took my arm off. Because I remained conscious, I tensed to the point where I almost didn't bleed at all.
Holy cow.
Luckily for Rick, two people who lived nearby were Doreen Millington, a retired nurse, and Tony Beavis, an off-duty police officer.
I couldn't find anyone at first, and then I saw this girl running around in the field. Looked over the wall and saw this boy. He said his first words to her was, "I'm a famous drummer and I've lost my arm." So I got a handkerchief and some towels, and just pressed on, and the clots were starting to form around the area which had been torn off. The next
Right? In the moment, you're just like, I am the drummer of one of the
and I
Tart
just
Shop
looked up
in
and
his
said, "Oh,
band.
thank God, Anthony. Can you find his arm?"
I crawled inside the car that was upturned, and there I found, underneath the actual dashboard, the chap's arm that had been severed from here right the way through. It was quite some distance to be thrown from any vehicle. That he survived was quite honestly a miracle.
Rick was rushed to the hospital, where a surgical team performed an emergency 4-hour operation in which doctors reconnected Rick's severed limb. Still, it would be days before they would know if the operation was successful.
New Year's Eve.
He's a subtle influence
of all
to
days. Around about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I got a call from Peter Mensch, our manager, explaining what happened.
It just didn't sink in. He said, Rick's had a car crash, he's lost his arm. Now, this is not in the agenda. This doesn't make sense.
You forget about him being a drummer, you forget about him being a band member, you're worried whether the guy's actually going to live.
Yeah.
Could see his hand, and it was so pink, and I thought, you know, they've done it.
But, to everyone's horror, Rick's reattached limb became infected. Reluctantly, the surgeons removed his left arm, this time for good.
It's almost like giving you something back and then taking it away for the second time. It seemed very, very cruel.
That was one sort of slight hiccup. And then the thing that really got to me was when they said that if I didn't clear this infection up, that there was a real possibility that I might lose my right arm as well. And that's when things got all dark and serious again. It was like,
what a fucking cruel joke.
No way.
Yeah.
Coming up next, Rick Allen fights back. Return of the one-armed drummer.
It was almost like I was running on pure adrenaline. I was just hell-bent on getting back in there and, you know, and making the band happy.
And Steve Clark loses the battle with his private demons.
Apparently, the alcohol in his blood was double what killed John Bonham.
When Behind the Music continues. In 1984, Def Leppard's bad luck had taken a brutal twist with the near-fatal car crash of their drummer Rick Allen. But Rick refused to accept the idea that his terrible injury would end his musical career. He resolved to play the drums again.
Me and Steve seen him in hospital, and he was all done up like a mummy, you know, it was like, you know, blood seeping out and just laying in the bed, and he said, "I've been practicing, I'm going to play drums." And we're like, I mean, it was almost the first thing he said. We thought, it's medication.
Things were exciting again. Things were really, you know, I've got a goal. I've got a goal in life. I've got, you know, I've got something to work towards.
Richard said that life was too easy. He was doing exactly what he wanted. He was travelling the world. And this was the kick up the backside that he needed. And I said, Richard, it did no need to have been such a hard kick.
Yeah.
In a show of loyalty, the band hesitated to replace Rick Allen. They decided instead to remain on hiatus until Rick might return.
There's no way he's going to get fired. I mean, he's like a brother. He's part of the family. It's up to him to tell us that he can't play
whatever,
it.
Man.
With Rick in the hospital, Def Leppard returned to the studio to continue work on the Hysteria album. Then just 6 weeks after his accident, Rick rejoined the group, determined to keep the beat with one arm.
It's very emotional when he came back. There were a lot of tears and we locked him away in a room with a drum kit.
There's the bass drum and snare drum and a hi-hat and a stool. And he sat there working away for about 15 minutes and then he almost collapsed.
It was almost like I was running on pure adrenaline. I was just hell-bent on getting back in there and making the band happy.
While the band continued to labor in the studio, Rick spent 8 hours a day mastering a custom-built electronic drum kit that allowed him to play left-handed beats with his left foot.
It was just starting back at the basics again and realizing that the information was in my head. It just needed to be channeled somewhere else. Although I couldn't get it out here, you know, I could get it to other parts of my body.
Then, in the midst of Rick's heroic comeback, the band was invited to perform on the Monsters of Rock tour, a series of European dates that featured Ozzy Osbourne and Bon Jovi. It was to be Rick Allen's one-armed return to the concert stage.
The big test was actually going out and doing it live.
In preparation, the band planned a series of small club dates in Ireland. At Rick Allen's suggestion, drummer Jeff Rich was brought in to back him up. But traveling to the third date, Jeff Rich's flight was delayed, and he missed the start of the show. Rick Allen had to go it alone. He didn't skip a beat.
About 45 minutes into the gig, a very sheepish Jeff Rich turns up and sneaks onto his kit and joins in. didn't even notice. And that's the highest compliment I can pay Rick for that.
After the gig, Jeff came up to me and he just said, well, it's been nice knowing you. I think you can do this on your own.
You're good, dude. That's awesome. Yeah.
On August 16, 1986, at the Monsters of Rock Festival, Rick Allen made his first arena concert appearance since his accident. When Rick was introduced, the crowd exploded.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
The volume nearly blew you off stage. It was frightening, the reaction that the guy got.
You're talking 70,000 people. It was extremely emotional.
Tears everywhere up there, and I've never seen anything like that. And I've never felt anything like that before.
Yeah, this needs to be a fucking anime, man.
It was brilliant.
It was one of the greatest comebacks in rock history. From that day, Rick Allen became known as the Thunder God.
It did make us a lot stronger and think about things in a different way. It's like, if he can do this after losing a limb, then how dare we moan about, oh, we can't get the bridge right in this song, or, oh, I've just missed a flight to Paris, or, you know, how dare we do that?
After a 3-year tragedy-plagued recording ordeal that left the band deeply in debt, Hysteria, the band's 4th album, was finally released in August of 1987. But by then, many fans had forgotten about Def Leppard. They had been out of the limelight for far too long. The first single flopped, and early tour dates were played to half-empty houses. Deeply in debt, the band needed to sell at least 5 million albums just to break even.
And we stalled at 3. And it was like, oh, okay. Which is still great, but not good enough, unfortunately.
And then they released Pour Some Sugar on Me, and then it just went ballistic. He went absolutely ballistic. He shifted 4 million albums in 3 months. It had gone in at #1 in England. We'd finally achieved success in our home country for the first time, 10 years after we'd formed.
So there we are, back on tour. We come back to the States because we was in Europe, and everywhere's sold out.
What at first looked like disaster turned to triumph as Hysteria spawned 7 hit singles, sold 10 million copies in the U.S. and nearly 15 million worldwide. Def Leppard headlined an unforgettable 13-month world tour performed in the round. Performing in the round presented new challenges for the band, but the boys dealt with the situation in their own wild way.
When you're running around trying to cover 4 sides of a stage, there comes a moment when you need a break. And so they manufactured this moment in the show whereby
isn't this like a sex song?
Players
Dude,
would all go underneath the stage, and Joe and Rick would be left on the stage.
I'm going around the whole crowd doing this all winding them up, getting them going.
That was the #1 rule.
While this is going on, underneath the stage, where Rick Savage and Phil and Steve Clark are, and all the roadies and any other guests that happen to be around, would be in there with a whole load of women.
It would be like Sodom and Gomorrah going on for 20 minutes.
Their passport into the under the stage area was they had to take their tops off and get their out.
Oh shit!
That was the bargain.
There would be 60 naked girls, and I mean with nothing on, you know, completely. Mothers and daughters.
Oh my God!
What? Satyricon. That's what it was. Fellini's Satyricon almost. These weird little sex scenes going on. Some nights it got a little crazier than others.
I can't see the tits because it's so blurry.
Inevitably, though, Rick Allen and Joe Elliott come out of it really squeaky clean because, of course, they were never below the stage. But the others
were. 180p, dude.
Yeah, it's 360.
In October 1988, after 15 months on the road, Def Leppard concluded the Hysteria tour in Seattle. It was to be Steve Clark's last show with the band.
I think it really hit Steve hard that this is getting harder. Every album we do is getting bigger and bigger. How the hell do we top this one? And I think that started to get to him.
Countless nights I sat with Steve Clark while he was chopping out the coke. And as he was doing it, he'd be going, "Don't tell the others. Don't tell the others."
He didn't ever want to have the band learn about it, and the band didn't want to learn about it because then they would have had to look at their own addictions.
Before the first show of the Hysteria tour, he was so desperately trying to break his fingers so he wouldn't have to go on stage the next night. He was slamming them against the marble sink in his bathroom. He was just scared to death to go on stage. He was okay after the first gig. It's the first one.
Then in late 1989, Steve Clark was found lying comatose in a gutter.
Steve was found in a coma in Minneapolis. Apparently, the alcohol in his blood was double what killed John Bonham. I mean, that's astonishing.
Coming up next, Steve Clark is admitted to a psychiatric hospital.
I mean, this was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. There is one of my best friends, in with the lamppost scratchers, the ones that talk to trees.
When Behind the Music continues.
Yeah, I have to wipe my phone out every time I bring it anywhere.
And that's next 10 years. Well, who knows what in that is in store after the last 10 car accidents, things. Well, I hope we're still together. It'd be a shame if we weren't. I don't think we'll probably do more than 15-month tours, but we'll still be making records.
Desperately ill from years of alcohol abuse, Steve Clark was admitted to a psychiatric hospital in Minneapolis.
There is one of my best friends, in with the lamppost scratchers, the ones that talk to trees. I mean, it's... Why? Why is he in here?
It was very hard to convince everyone that there was a real problem there. You know, his girlfriend at the time, Lorelei, had been telling me for like 5 years.
He had a chemical imbalance, and it was painful. Like I said, he had voices and, you know, the compulsive behavior disorder. He was scared, and he was really lonely.
Steve Clark was undoubtedly the unhappiest millionaire rock star I ever met in my life.
You can't sell 12 million records and not earn any money.
Hey guys,
But
okay.
it can create...
As we're watching this, just so you know, chat, I'm actively figuring out which one of these people I want to base Alpha's dad on. By the way, just so you know.
Some very weird situations with friends and people used to know.
I think a lot of his frustration came from the fact that he never got a pat on the back from his dad.
He loved his father, but he was scared to death of him because his father also had that mean streak where one minute he'd be happy and laughing and the next minute he wouldn't be a very nice guy.
His dad used to like getting drunk, and it was like, come on, son, let's go and have a drink. Even this was after Clark's been in the clinic 3 months. He never realised that Clark couldn't have 3 drinks, he had to drink 10. I don't think his family helped him. I think the fact is that Clark didn't give it.
Happy Father's Day,
He went to rehab because everybody hated him.
When he was home for maybe 10 days, he had to go back to work in Dublin, you know, the World Pub, and write again for the next album.
Oh, shit.
So off he was, back with the band, drinking again.
In Dublin, the sessions for the band's 5th album, Adrenalize, were constantly interrupted by repeated attempts to help Steve.
I mean, we basically made Malvin, our tour manager, live with him to keep an eye on him.
I mean, it's like Bam
stand there
Margera.
and tell him, Steve, I love you. Please don't do this. Please don't do this, because you're hurting. You know, you can hurt me as much as you like, but you're hurting yourself big time and full time.
He went into rehab in Dublin, and for 1 month they needed family member to be there, and once a week I went in and basically just tried to make him feel bad, and he'd just sit there in his boiler suit picking his nails, not even hearing a word I was saying, and then at the end of it he'd say thanks for coming, and he'd been there for a month, and then the day he checks out he goes straight to the pub and gets blind drunk and falls down.
Painfully aware that their efforts to help Steve help himself were futile, the band attempted one last desperate tactic.
So we gave him a 6-month leave of absence. Why don't you just go back to your house? He'd bought this house in Chelsea in London. Why don't you go back to your house, chill out, write songs, demo them, do whatever you like, you know, get up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but get well.
He was relieved and happy to be given the chance and the space. And it was a little bit of relief, I have to admit, on our point of view, from our point of view as well.
And, of course, the 6 months never elapsed.
There was a point in there where I called his parents and I said, you need to help him.
He came on for Christmas 1990. We could see that he was really looking worse for wear. But I had words with him. If he carried on drinking like this, he'd kill himself. And he said, oh, well, I'm not bothered anyway.
And by now he was mixing Valiums, Prozacs, alcohol, Coke, whatever anybody would give him. And his heart was just, you know, beating, trying so hard to stay alive. But really, he was really slowly trying to kill himself. And when you combined all that pain with the Prozac and the alcohol and the cocaine and the Valiums and the stress, I think his little heart just gave out. And I think he died of a broken heart.
Steve Clark died in his sleep at his home in London on January 8, 1991. He was 30 years old. An autopsy ruled his death due to compression of the brainstem from excessive alcohol mixed with antidepressants and painkillers.
I really miss him every time the show starts. I go home to
That's why I
Sheffield
found out I
at
can't
least
drink
once a
alcohol,
year.
'cause
Usually
I
at
did
Christmas
that.
time, I go up to his grave and I sit there for a little while with him. I'm not that spiritually inclined, but
That
I do
shit
it for him.
can make you feel
I think my
so
initial
much worse
thing
than
was
you did
like,
before you
don't want to do
even
this no
started
more, it's not the same.
Why are we doing this
don't do that
anyway?
shit.
It's kind of supposed to be fun, right?
It didn't take us long to actually understand that Steve wouldn't wanted us to do that at all. He'd have said, carry on.
Living with the ghost of Steve Clark, the band returned to the studio to complete Adrenalize.
We wanted to finish the album off as a four-piece. Just out of human respect to Steve and his family.
We'd worked all these guitar parts out, so I had to play his parts like him. I had to sit down and that was really strange. It was like the ghost, you know, it's like, there he is.
It's very real. Studios and music are escapism, and real life intrudes enormously when people in the band die.
The idea of getting someone else was weird. It's like a replacement. It's like, how do you replace someone? You don't replace a family member, you know, and you can't. We talked about it for ages, and we ended up getting Vivian.
We'd known Viv for a while. We knew him as a person. That was so important.
It's a lot more to do with being able to work with people than necessarily being, you know, an Olympian athlete at your instrument, you know.
You know, he may not look like Steve, he may not play like Steve, but he fits in perfectly.
Vivian Campbell made his major concert debut when Def Leppard joined Brian May and the members of Queen for the Freddie Mercury Concert of Life at Wembley Stadium.
I was just blown out of my seat. You know, I had no idea the impact that they were going to make. I'd never seen the place sort of rise as one man to its feet. It was incredible. Joe has all the answers. He said to me, he said, Brian, this is a long time ago. He said, I figure you can be a rock and roll star as long as you keep your hair and you don't get fat, right?
Do you want to get right? Greeted with the usual mix of critical disdain and public delight, the band's fifth album, Adrenalize, debuted at #1 in the spring of 1992. The following tour carried none of the baggage of the touring past. They were a lean, mean rockin' machine. In mid-1993, they were given a hero's welcome by their hometown of Sheffield and staged a standing room-only performance at Don Valley Stadium.
But coming up, changes in musical direction only confused their fans.
It was the mid-90s, grunge was king. So we knew we had to do something different.
No.
Personally, I thought that we were going a little bit too extreme.
They played to 1 million people at Live 8. And Leppard revealed their ambitions for the future.
My ambition is to get us up there with the Pink Floyds and the Zeppelins and the Who and the Stones and the Beatles. Whether we ever achieve that, I don't know.
When Behind the Music continues.
Def Leppard's pretty famous. I mean, comparing this to Motley Crue is just like Motley Crue is
Def Leppard had ridden an enormous wave of success for 15 years and 7 albums, but we're about to enter a period of uncertainty at the end of the 90s as the musical climate around them dramatically changed.
Explain that, please.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
The problem with the late 90s is that it wasn't cool to be Def Leppard.
Grunge was king. So we knew we had to do something different.
Whole different approach, you know, live backing track and just like live drums.
Everything that was coming out of Seattle was really vital sounding.
They came up with slang as a kind of response to the Nirvanas, the Pearl Jams of this world.
They were consciously saying, we're going to leave what we did behind.
I thought that was just a part of the setup.
We had to strip back down to zero on that record. It wasn't a case of trying to copy Pearl Jam or Nirvana. It was more a case of like not copying ourselves.
Why
Max 150 pixels on screen right now. Cotton, what's up?
I don't think it was a mistake.
It's hot oatmeal,
recording
but
slang the way we
there is
did.
no better recording.
I mean,
of this.
admittedly, it didn't sell at the same rate as the previous albums.
I remember thinking, we're spending a fortune here, and nobody's going to buy this record.
Listening to slang with the record company in London, it was...
That's what fame does.
It was like somebody just farted.
No matter what we did, there was going to be a backlash.
The Slang album had failed to catch the mood and also disappointed those fans who preferred the classic Leopard sound. Audiences began to drift away.
The crowds kind of disappeared, and it was just very uncool to like what we did.
In an effort to get back on track, they released Euphoria in 1999.
So we went back into the studio, and Sam suggested, you know what, let's make a classic, typical Def Leppard sounding record. In fact, let's go the whole hog, and let's make the artwork look, you know, akin to the 80s records, and let's have a title that ends in IA, like Power Mini in the Studio.
You're fired.
What? There was an acceptance that we were back and it was a good record.
It went golden promises was kind of like a radio hit.
Oh, Cotton gets a daddy pass. Cotton's allowed to say daddy. Winston, Cotton, and Juzo can call me daddy.
It reached 11 on the Billboard chart, and they celebrate the millennium with a 147-date world tour. It looked as if Def Leppard were on their way up again. On September 5th, 2000, they were inducted by Queen's Brian May into the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And refreshed by a well-earned break, they were now confident enough to go in another new direction with their 2002 album, X.
I, as a hard rock fan, was not a fan of the album.
But hardcore fans nonetheless send it to 11 on the Billboard chart.
By the time we got round to doing the X record, we'd actually we ended up going more pop.
We wanted to have hit songs, the same sort of success that we'd experienced with Pyromania and Hysteria. Who can blame us?
I do think that at that time, we wanted to be all things to all people.
Def Leppard has always wrestled with somewhat of an identity issue.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I wonder if I look up Def Leppard AMV, what I would find.
The new pop direction was again a step too far for most fans, and it quickly dropped out of the charts.
Daddy Pass sounds like it would be the title of Alpha's
2005,
solo album
they join a host of contemporaries and support the
Oh
campaign against world poverty, performing at Philadelphia's leg of the Live 8 Festival.
I gotta make it happen now. I'm gonna use one of those templates and make an album cover for Daddy Pass.
And you're on the bill with so many famous people, and that in itself is just a buzz.
I remember Joe getting word from the side of the stage that there was 1,200,000 people actually in front of the stage.
In your hand,
Hopefully creating awareness for a better world and to be part of it.
The half jump Ruthie.
There's a Yu Yu Hakusho AMV.
But could they keep rebuilding their audience? Leppard's next album, Yeah, in 2006, was again a surprise. It was an homage to all the bands they had grown up with and had been inspired by.
Bowie, Bolan, Alice Cooper, Mott the Hoople. I could just go on forever, you know. These songs were the soundtrack of our lives.
Oh, that's adorable, Minty.
British pop from the 70s. That's what inspired us. That's what made us want to pick a guitar up.
Also, when I sing on Midnight House songs, I intentionally try and sing like a British person singing like an American person. There's a certain sound to it.
Do the splits jump, do backwards somersaults, scream, leap, whatever. Wear silly, sparkly jackets.
We were like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good album. Unfortunately, it didn't get terribly good reviews. In fact, one review was just one word: no.
Damn.
Although the album didn't perform well on the charts, it hit the right note with the fans. They wanted to see Def Leppard perform again.
By the time 2006 came along, you were no longer promoting a record by touring. You were promoting a tour by releasing an album. And the Yeah album gave us the biggest tour that we've done since the Hysteria tour.
Long overdue recognition came in May 2006 when VH1 made them inaugural inductees in their spectacular Rock Honors event.
Like what?
not be...
To be up on stage with Brian May doing 20th Century Boys.
Yeah,
It's,
dude, can
it's
you
the
imagine
thing of legend
playing with
for us.
Brian May?
It's dream come true, so.
I may imagine that.
I think on that particular night,
was
definitely ours.
While on their last tour, the band had introduced a makeshift recording studio backstage, so that no opportunity would be wasted when inspiration struck. They called this studio the Sparkle Lounge.
We'd made a decision to try and piece together the next album while we were on the road.
We're actually in class. If you've been paying attention, you might have understood.
Not us sitting around for a year going, well, what do we do again?
And on that
Are you auditing this class, or are you a participant?
2006,
Are your
the
notebooks out?
82 shows we did in the States, we were probably in that room 50 times. So by the time we got to the studio, most of those songs, we had them down. We knew what they were called, we knew the arrangements, the tempos, and it made the recording that much quicker.
The album marked a welcome return to the Def Leppard of old, and fans made it a top 5 record.
Sparkle Lounge is, if anything, as classic a Leppard album as you can possibly get.
But with the record's success came the call for more live shows. As they embark on a massive world tour for the first time in their 30-year history, the demands of life on the road forced Leppard to cancel shows. Was the rock and roll lifestyle finally catching up with them?
The downside of doing what we do is everybody wants you to keep being 21.
That seems to be the pitfall.
Once famous for their hard-drinking
Yeah,
rock
you're gonna
and
be
roll
quizzed on
excess,
this. I told you guys at the
members
beginning
of the
of the
band
show.
now seem to have changed their ways.
We've dipped our toe into every part of this industry. Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
There comes a point where you have a responsibility, first and foremost, to the people that are paying good money to come and see you.
None of the guys in Def Leppard are kids anymore. They have
every time somebody who's
so
paying
it's
to
a
see me doesn't
different
get to see me.
mentality and a different approach out on the road.
We travel with a trainer.
What happens if we fail the
masseuse.
pass?
We have a
I'll
juice
decide that
bar.
when it happens.
Rock and roll tea parties. You have to eat healthy, you have to work out, you have to raise your game because the competition's outrageous.
In spite of all the trauma and tragedy, Def Leppard have been together for over 30 years as a band. To this day, talent, determination, and stamina remain their tools for
What's with the
survival,
drugs?
and they continue to have
they're
their
talking about
dreams
as they
and
aged.
ambitions.
Inevitably, in the rock world, things come
There
around
was some
again.
like
You know,
3
and
weeks
Leppard's
ago.
time is coming around again.
There's
Yeah, they're
so
still a
much
band.
life experience tied
No,
up
no,
in this
they're still
band.
going.
I guess the thing that we had on our side was the fact that we stuck together. We've always
Think about it, the band's not
wanted to be the best that we can be. We're so much better as musicians, songwriters, producers.
It's not
So there's no reason why we can't actually fulfill that ambition.
I've been in this band more than half of my life, and it's just second nature.
Lyrically, they write terrific songs. They have great hooks, great melodies. I think most other bands would love to do Leppard cast-offs if they could.
They're regarded, rightfully so, as one of the key acts to come out of the 80s.
Hysteria is one of the best-selling records of all time, and in total they have sold over 65 million albums. Def Leppard have more than earned their place in rock and roll history.
In the ultimate book of rock, my ambition is to shove us closer to page 3. Get us down the front, up there with the Pink Floyds and the Zeppelins and the Who and the Stones and the Beatles. Whether we ever achieve that, I don't know.
Damn. All right, let's watch another one. Who we got left? There's tons. There's like 70 of these, by the way, chat. Grand Funk Railroad. No, I'm good. Motorhead.
Oh my god.
Dude, we want to watch Lemmy Kilmister pound handles of vodka.
Did you know that Motorhead released a song recently?
It's
What
not
happened?
rock.
Motorhead released a cover of Enter Sandman not long ago.
Oh, sick.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Could do Motorhead, Rip Lenny. Okay. Yeah, we will go. Lenny is actually, you know what? We'll do Motorhead. Lenny was interviewed in this, and he died recently, so we'll watch the Motorhead. Is this any higher resolution? No, of course not. Okay, though. And in case, chat, okay, we'll do a little bit of early, like pre-show knowledge. Lemmy Kilmister is the bassist of this band. But Lemmy is also the front man of the band, which is just kind of like how Geddy Lee is the front man of Rush, and he's also the bassist. And he had a really cool style to him. He was this old, like, I want to say leather daddy, but he probably didn't like. He probably didn't identify with that phrase. But he's like an old leather daddy kind of guy, and he has a sick hat. Yeah, sick hat, sick aesthetics, really fucking sick voice. He's also the vocalist too. But yeah, if you have definitely heard a Motorhead song in your life. And they are also hyper mega ultra British, so this is gonna be fun. Love the accents.
Super British.
They're super British.
Do they say tea and biscuits?
Listen to his voice.
Yeah, it's so good.
They were the band who built a new wave of heavy metal out of the crumbling ruins of punk and speeded rock and roll up until it almost left the ground. Led by their fearsome leader Lemmy, 6 feet plus of visceral vocal onslaught and pounding strumming bass, their music would define 2 new genres of rock and roll, speed metal and thrash metal.
Lemmy was the godfather.
Dave Grohl.
You know, he was the one that, if it weren't for Lemmy, we wouldn't be here.
You know, Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, 9 Inch Nails. Modern rock music would be completely different.
Motorhead's founder and leader, Lemmy Kilmister, would grow up to be Jimi Hendrix's roadie, soak up the music of 60s
All right,
London,
goodbye, Minty.
get arrested with drugs hidden in his underwear.
That's awesome.
And finally form
have fun
his
at
own
school.
band.
I'll show your art here near the end of stream.
Motorhead
Okay. Thank
was
you
one of
so
the
much
main
for it.
reasons
It's
that I wanted
beautiful.
to start a band myself and play music.
But behind the band's fearsome stage appearances were hidden some human tragedies that would take their toll on this wayward band of brothers. But nothing would stop Lemmy.
There's only one Lemmy, and there'll never be one. There wasn't one before.
It's
There'll never be one after. I'm gonna get over this.
What?
Thank you, Ozzy. Guts, lust, drugs, and musical roller coaster rides.
I just need to double confirm. Is there any part where you score in this section of
the story behind the music.
Okay,
You have to tell us.
We're gonna go ask Sharon.
Can we get the translator in here?
Sharon!
Sharon!
The story of Motorhead is the story of metal music in all its glorious incarnations.
And then it's fucking on
They're considered
stage.
forefathers of both thrash
no,
and
he's-
speed
it's-
metal.
when he's on stage, you can hear him
They
clear
ruled
as
with an
day.
uncompromising
It's like he
sound
flipped that
of
switch.
attitude and
The fucking
terrified
intro
those who
for
saw
Post
them.
Malone's
I
song.
couldn't believe just how ugly this
How
guy
many-
was.
he
Yeah,
did-
he was
he
so
does not sound
scary.
He's
crumbling.
sensitive fucking
And it blew my mind. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Keith Richards times
That is
10.
an old
Very
fucking
intimidating.
man right there,
Got the
dude.
mic
That
up
is a
high.
legend of a man
Got the
right
mutton
there.
chops.
There's a.
Everyone's always been
I
afraid
was
of these
like, I
guys.
just watched a fucking video of,
I threatened to throw him out of the window.
He's like grinning like a kid on Christmas, like jumping
On
and
the
clapping
band's
on
journey,
stage.
its leader,
It's
Lemmy,
so fucking
was to face a
Oh, Ozzy
series
has
of
the
emotional
mentality of a
crises.
child, and I fucking love
Lemmy's
it.
roommate,
No,
Andy
he's
Elliott,
just
excited to be here.
murdered in a
He's
gay
happy to be in
hate
places.
crime. His
Just like
long-standing
happy to be
rival,
Post Malone
music world,
sing.
would die of heart failure.
Could
And
you rock
love
the
of his
Lemmy look?
life
No.
would overdose and drown in
I
the
would
bathtub.
love to see mutton chop in a hat like that.
God.
That'd be great.
That old like British steel look.
Yeah.
40 years later,
Someone
they are
draw it
still
right
playing
now.
rock
Alpha
and
with
roll
mutton
and
chop.
living up to their
Oh
Mother
my
Madonna
God.
reputation.
Alpha with facial hair is cursed,
And
man.
high-octane, foot on
I
the
will
floor
fucking
that'd
hey,
be
strum like Dale Gribble. Oh,
Put him in that hat right there.
You shouldn't smoke. You shouldn't drink too much. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. It doesn't apply to Lemmy.
Music!
Doesn't apply to Lemmy.
No one who hears
Yeah,
their
Sora
music,
music,
is ever
woo!
quite the same
You
again.
can make a nice
First
Naruto
time I
anime with this.
saw Motorhead or heard of them was that Young Ones episode where they played Ace of Spades.
I've seen this video, guy. I fucking love this guy.
yeah.
Ace of Spades was rock.
Dude, at
It
the
was metal.
beginning, hearing
It was punk.
hearing the
It was
fucking
blues.
crowd yell,
And
like
you
chant
just
for
get
Ozzy.
this
incredible noise.
Probably hasn't had that in a while.
I don't care.
A
His
coffin
voice
is
is so
double
crazy.
bass. It was loud as
And I haven't seen anything that
I'll
balls
look
to
up
the
Motorhead
wall.
AMV.
Slash!
What
Rock
about
and roll in a while.
and
Holy
I instantly became
shit.
completely
Would you
addicted.
be okay
If
with
there
an
wasn't a
AMV by
Motorhead, there
Motorhead
wouldn't
if
be
it was
Metallica.
for Helsing?
Hey, Rob, Zelo.
Would you be okay if there was an AMV that featured music from Motorhead if it had Helsing Ultimate?
They were
As the
pitching
anime.
rock and roll.
Probably, that'd be acceptable.
And people were still queuing up to see it.
They embraced all they considered a prerequisite of rock and roll.
Let me talk. He
Drugs,
sounded
whiskey,
really odd, but
women,
then you hear him
gambling.
saying, you're like,
More
Jesus
drugs,
Christ, this
more
man.
whiskey, and more women.
Bad
Listen to this. Look at this
can
guy.
prepare you for working with Lemmy really till you actually go through it.
They built their image with a cool glass in one hand and a hot woman in the other, even if Lemmy is considered a loner.
He's definitely not in bed by 10.
I know this
That's the
song.
milk kind of guy.
Dude, that fucking nose ring for me.
Dude, look at
They
him.
had
He's
number one
painfully
albums,
British.
Top 10
He
singles,
looks like a bounty
sellout
hunter.
crowds, innovative
He
songs,
looks like Donald.
groundbreaking
Right.
tours.
Yeah, he looks like a
In
bounty
the end,
hunter.
everybody
Bounty
loved
hunter.
them, except the music industry.
Yo, that would be cool.
I looked
Imagine
up
it's
to
like a
Motorhead because
cartoon
I
about
always
like
felt
a
like
rock star that's also a bounty hunter.
nobody told them what.
You're bounty by day, rockstar by
It's
night.
just like, hey, if you don't like it, off. I don't make music thinking about you.
Damn.
Rockstar by day, bounty hunter by night.
Doug Bounty Hunter.
Lemmy Kilmister,
Dog
a man
bounty
known for his
hunter,
mutton
what
chop
the hell?
sideburns,
Dog.
gravelly voice, and of course
Claude,
the most
oh my
famous
God!
facial
Somebody throw a
warts in rock and roll.
with that
Was
facial
born
hair,
on
please.
Christmas Eve,
Not even that facial
1944.
hair,
Oh my
that
God.
hairstyle.
And his smash cut to his childhood home.
The cold West Midlands of England. His father, a Royal Air Force
Oh,
chaplain,
straight
That
soon
would have been
abandoned
the
the
intro
family.
to Charlie and the
And
Chocolate
Lemmy and his mother, with
Factory.
little Ronnie
He's British.
moved to the coast.
He is, yeah.
Options were probably to work on a farm or work on a farm. Or you could work on a chicken farm.
So nice to hear
specialize.
him talk.
Lemmy didn't fit
This
in.
man is
Easy, my
He
speaking.
was
dude.
soon expelled for
This
cutting
man speaking
class
reminds me of
and
Mike
took
Ransom.
casual
Call
jobs
Sir
at summer
Thomas.
fairs and at a horse riding school. He had other interests.
They want to get laid mostly. But then you realise that they only last for half an hour, so you better find something else to occupy your time as well.
What?
He really does remind me of my grandfather.
Talk about
Lemmy
getting
found
laid.
music.
I think it was Eddie Cochran and Gene
Like they
Vincent
only
came
last
over
for
from
half an
the
hour,
States
so
and
you
they
gotta
were
find
there
something
together.
else to occupy your time.
And chicks were all over them. I thought, wow, that looks like the job for me, you know. I can stand a bit of that.
He took a job at a washing machine factory and taught himself to play the guitar.
It worked like a charm. I was immediately surrounded by women of all shapes and religious persuasions. You know, it was great.
He had the women. Now all he
so
needed was a
British.
band.
Fucking hell.
So he swapped the remote seaside town for London with its hard rock,
I was about to
loud
say,
music,
he's not
drunk all the
does
time,
he?
like
and
Ozzy.
seductive
Yeah.
Southern comforts.
Sure, Lemmy.
If Ozzy wasn't drunk, he'd probably
When I
sound
went down, I
fine.
knew one guy in London, and that was
Sure,
Neville. He was
Jan.
Hendrix's roadie.
Within weeks, he scored a job as a roadie for this former American paratrooper who was already fast becoming a guitar legend.
No way.
I got to watch Hendrix every night for nothing. Are you kidding?
It was a shared love of amphetamine.
Lemmy
that brought
Kilmister
Lemmy
was
in
a
touch with
roadie
a
for
musician
Jimi
named Dick
Hendrix?
Mick, who was a member of the
Oh, I should
rock
work with that
band
guy.
Hawkwind. One
Who,
day,
Jimi
the band
Hendrix?
showed up
Yeah.
without their bass
Cool.
player for an outdoor
Him and
London
Phil
gig,
Nye and Bruce
and
Lee are all
Lemmy
the same
seized
birthday.
his chance.
So
Science
Dave
guy?
Fox says, who plays bass
Yeah.
and did it when he
November
does?
22nd.
Fuck.
No, the actor.
Look at him. He's got a pack of cigarettes and a rum or and a whiskey coke on the fucking bar.
You say that, Freya, like they aren't said the same way. When you
I know.
Make some noises
I
in
said
the
that
this
as
is
a
cool, you
genuine
shouldn't do that, and walks away from
No, I
it, you know.
fucking.
The rest is history. Lemmy would be with the band for 4 years and sing lead vocals on their biggest hit, Silver Machine.
I thought he was gonna say,
I was gonna say, I don't. The only celebrity I know that shares a birthday with me is
We're
Wes
all quite
Anderson.
weird-looking characters. The band themselves
So
are
sorry.
quite strange-looking characters
know.
for a start. And let me fit it in wonderfully well.
Oh my God,
They're kind
Eris.
of like this, you know,
peace, love, flower, power, hippie band.
I am excited.
But tragedy was about to rudely invade the peace and love world of Hawkwind.
Hey, what's up, Ziggy?
Once went out with a woman.
Share birthday with
We're watching Behind the Music.
The woman was a
Motorhead.
dancer called Sue.
Yeah, well, they weren't going well for Sue, you know, because she went off doing a job in Beirut dancing. Came back with this massive smack at her.
When Lemmy returned home one day, he found Sue dead in the bathtub from a heroin overdose.
That's what happened to my generation.
Danny
you know,
Glover,
I got sucked
fuck
in his tracks by heroin, you know. That's why I hate it.
He really loved this girl. He found her dead in the tub, and I can recall
Actually, no,
he sat
I
on
lied.
an, sat in an armchair for like 3 days.
I share a birthday with the bassist from Smashing Pumpkins and the lead singer for Crown the Empire.
Coming up, Lemmy gets fired from Hawkwind, forms Motorhead, and ends up recording one of the greatest metal anthems of all time.
Lemmy found his ex-girlfriend dead in the tub. Did you guys get that?
I heard that. I wasn't sure what he said.
Can you say
I like that they just smash cut away from
I'm taking like next.
He's taking notes, chat.
I'm taking notes.
There will be a quiz.
Lemmy has moved to London from his hometown in the cold north of England, lost the love of his life to heroin, and joined the band Hawkwind. But when they stopped for lunch on tour in Niles, Michigan,
That's to keep you
his
around for the
musical
after the
dreams
commercial
started
break.
unraveling too.
Yeah, we're having a great time. We're just watching several of these tonight.
My camera was snapping pictures, and I got smacked over the head by some bastard.
No what?
And mugged him.
We couldn't find him anywhere.
I think
he'd vanished.
They stole my camera and my money.
And we just drove off and left him.
They're gone without me, which is another instance of how cosmic they were.
With the band due on stage that night, Lemmy had no choice but to get back on the road, hitchhiking to Detroit.
I got rides with VW buses full of hippies, homosexual truckers.
What?
He was a big lad and all. I was glad to get out of that door. And I finally wound up in Detroit at about 7 in the morning.
The amount you have to care about the music to be like, I'm gonna
made
hitchhike
it
to
on
Detroit.
stage, but the next
from the
day
East
at the
Coast.
Canadian border, his luck ran out when he was searched.
You also have to go to
Hitchhiking in
Detroit.
general, but hitchhiking to
I
Detroit.
got busted
Yeah, why would you go to Detroit?
for what they charged me with. It was
That's Coke City.
cocaine, but it wasn't. It was speed, so it was wrongful arrest, so the case was dismissed.
We were playing in Toronto the next day, and they kept Lemmy overnight, which was the final straw.
And they fired me at 4 that morning because they couldn't get my replacement over there fast enough.
He was really pissed off, of course, you know, and upset.
Lemmy decided to form his own blues-based rock band, modeled after Detroit's MC5, mixed with elements
It's not
of
called the
Little
Metal
Richard.
City. It's called the Motor City. What?
Detroit Metal City? There's an anime called Detroit Metal City? What?
Yeah. You never heard of that?
No, I haven't. Riddy, what's up? Hello.
They took
It's
their
a-
name from the last song
it's a
he ever wrote for
movie.
Hawkwind.
Oh, okay.
Motorhead.
It's an animated movie.
I also would watch heavy
No,
metal in
serious?
Discord, but it's like, it's pretty graphic. Welcome back, Riddy. Hope you had a good day at work.
Wait.
Yeah, it's a manga that became a series.
Alongside Lemmy were Larry Wallace on guitar
Oh,
and
there
Lucas
also?
Fox on drums. The band got a contract
It's
with
probably because of
Hawkwind's
the movie,
label, United Artists,
Synopsis.
but their first effort at an
Maybe.
album was considered so poor, the label refused to release
It's
it.
on Crunchyroll.
They tried so hard to kill us when we started. They are the best, worst band in the world, we were voted in sound, you know. Not just the worst band, the best worst band in the world.
It's a brilliantly accurate description of them, and one that I think actually the band and Lemmy in particular would kind of embrace.
Lemmy reacted by firing drummer Lucas Fox and hiring Phil Taylor, but he needed a nickname.
There was a girl
Go to
called
bed with
Motorcycle
Motorhead.
Irene,
What a
who
what
at
a
the time was my girlfriend.
Oh my
In the very early
god!
days of Motorhead.
This guy
She was
exploded.
for
Just
sexual
woke him up. They
reasons.
broke into his house and woke him up.
Filthy Animals
What
drum
did you
always
do?
developed to
Shit.
become a trademark of the band.
He looks like chaotic neutral Jack Black.
All right, I just got the invoice for my rigging. Hold on.
His drum tracks.
I'm gonna pay it.
They're insane. It's like, it just feels and sounds like he's just running down a hall naked.
Get him moving.
Lemmy now replaced Larry Wallace with guitarist
That looks
Fast
like Dan
Eddie
Evident.
Clark.
Oh my god, it does.
The door goes and I go to open the door and it was quite early. And I've opened the door and there's Lemmy standing there with a leather jacket and a bullet belt. And he handed them to me. He said, "You got the job," and then walked off.
Why are you crying?
This lineup would last for 7 years, 8 albums, and dozens of tours. It quickly became a key part of the new wave of British heavy metal.
Oh, yeah.
Motorhead is the band that helped create, metal in the form that it is today.
Lemmy was
oh my fucking
the Godfather.
God, he was on it.
He was the one that, if it weren't for Lemmy, we wouldn't be here.
If there wasn't a Motorhead, there wouldn't be Metallica.
Guns N' Roses, Nirvana,
Not just that, the
Alice
high
in Chains,
fructose adventures
Nine
of
Inch
Annoying
Nails,
Orange.
modern rock music.
The Cartoon Network show.
He played an ice cream cookie
Completely
sandwich.
different.
The band was now working well together on stage, but off stage, fists were flying.
Phil was the chief hellraiser, actually. Phil and Eddie were always fighting each other.
Artists, sensitive.
After a certain point, Phil starts lashing out.
Very similar to England. Stop doing that, else I'm going to nut you.
Hey, I am not offended by this. Oh my God, Eris, what the hell? I love it.
Playing gigs and recording, but the world wasn't listening.
Why does it have to be a
Oh
wig?
my God.
Nobody wanted to sign Motorhead because everyone was
Damn.
scared of
Oh
us.
my God, he's
Because we
hot.
were buying
I
letters.
fucking
God.
love.
And plus the music
I
was,
love
for
that
them
you did the
days, it was a
fucking
bit raw.
chevron.
Soon they were penniless
Yeah.
and living in a squat.
We didn't have a
The hair
pot
is
to piss. We
great.
I don't see
starving in
it.
the early days.
It's in stream
we
fan
had
art.
Stream
nothing.
fan art.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
So if you color it, make those bottoms the Union Jack. Give them the Def Leppard treatment.
It looked like the end of the road for the band.
I love the leather hot pants.
We've had enough. We can't take any more of this.
Then Chiswick Records offered the band 2 last chance days in a remote rural studio to pull it all together.
The behemoth that was Motorhead
Dave
descended.
Grohl played Satan
a pile of white
in
powder.
the Pick of
Yeah,
Destiny.
he had all the makeup and
A
everything.
lot of energy. This went in and went for
I think they stayed awake for days.
The album Motorhead charted
Now
at
for the others?
43,
Oh my God, I can't
But a
wait
few
to see
months
Please.
later, with the band about to headline its own
Oh,
tour,
shit.
Phil got into
Hair
a
metal,
fight with a
please.
roadie over a girl.
And then he said the wrong thing, and I just smacked him on it.
Is
Right
it
in
just the hair on his head that's long
broke my-
and frizzy like that?
broke my
Or is it
knuckles.
all of the fur
This
on
time
his
it's so bad.
Bro, look at the
We've had to
fucking
cancel
arch in that
the
man's
tour.
eyebrow. He's in a perpetual state of angry eyes. He's so pissed.
All that alcohol
all
will
the
do it.
time.
What Lemmy did
The inspiration
was
of the-
more,
oh my God,
not less.
yes.
Recording
Holy
2 Motorhead
shit.
albums in
Yeah.
one
Who
year.
is this Motley Crue?
And Bob.
Yeah, that's Motley Crue.
Overkill to me.
You can tell
is,
because 3 of them have black hair.
It's
and
like
one
a
has blonde.
747 just flying like, 5
Guys,
feet over
Exclamation
your
point
head.
Discord,
There's so much
Distiller.
power.
A little bit like Ben Stiller. I don't know why.
Overkill and Bomber were great records. I thought they were awesome. I'll Be Your Sister. I mean, come on. That was my wedding song.
Then in 1980, the gambler Lemmy and his band played
What?
an unbeatable hand with Ace of Spades.
Was this like Guitar Hero?
I mean, as soon as that comes in,
There's a Guitar Hero and
instantly
20 Hours Pro
recognizable
Skater.
and instantly just sort of grabs you by
Yeah,
the
I
balls.
remember
The core of it is rock and roll, and that's
Wait,
what
Alpha,
I
how
loved
do you
about
feel
it so
that
much.
That's why
someday
Motorhead's music lasts.
somebody
Is because they knew
is
where it
going
came
to have
from,
a Midnight
which is
Howl
the blues.
song?
There hadn't been anything quite like that,
Yeah.
and it broke them
It'll
all.
be very
to hear
flattering
it,
for me.
and it sounds
It's
like
gonna be
a
me.
thunderstorm coming.
Yeah, it's
It
gonna
amazes
be
Get married
me.
tomorrow.
Is there anybody that's ever looked more
Fuck.
badass
No, it's
than
Lars Ulrich.
on the cover of Ace of
You
Spades?
get married. We'll put out hype beats and then devil that you know.
Oh, put it between the Cha-Cha Slide and the Electric Slide.
Nah, it's between the Cha-Cha Slide and then the Cha-Cha
I
Slide
would
again.
rather have
Right.
Ace of Spades
Correct you
than
are,
a million
Eris.
quid in the bank.
It's like the John Mulaney
Because
bit.
Ace of Spades would
Like
be a
5
lifetime
pussy,
goal.
5 Cha-Cha Slides.
One hype beast.
That's the
And
Cha-Cha
then
Slide.
4 more. And then 4
With Ace
more.
of Spades spiraling up the charts, Lemmy turned his mind to finding a support band for the upcoming tour.
When he first met us in the rehearsal studio, he went back to his band and said, by the way, the blonde's mine.
The blonde was Kelly Johnson, and the band was Girl School, a heavy metal
Girl
outfit
School?
from South London. They recorded Please Don't Touch with Motorhead, which reached number 5 on the UK chart.
Hearing Lemmy's voice on a song like that is so odd.
speaking voice.
I seem to remember Eddie throwing his guitar across the bloody studio, having a fit, you know.
Oh, we could watch the Van Halen one after this.
Coming up, Lemmy faces some dramatic personal challenges, and the disintegration of the classic lineup begins.
Filthy left because basically he thought that the secret of his future career lay with Brian Robertson.
Yeah, and to get away from Lemmy.
When Behind the Music continues.
Lenny in this interview looks like...
All right, bye, Minty. Sleep well.
The Ghibli Lake corner of the Kentucky line.
Probably. Or pub.
Chart success had catapulted Motorhead into the high life, but being high had a cost. After years of amphetamine abuse, Lemmy realized that his body was beginning to destroy itself from within.
My manager, Keith Richard, had his blood changed in Switzerland, right? And it was then clean. You know,
But he never took those molds removed. They probably became part of his
But
look,
then the
you know?
doctor took samples of Lemmy's blood.
Results, and he said, don't let him give any blood transfusions. He said, he no longer has real blood. He said it's toxic.
All this stuff. You shouldn't smoke, you shouldn't drink too much, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It doesn't apply to Lemmy.
The transfusion was canceled. But there was another medical emergency when Phil Taylor challenged a roadie to lift him above his head.
He fell over backwards and I went down and landed on my head, which was a bit painful.
Oh, no.
And so that's how I broke my neck.
No.
I like calling it Alpha 1980. That's a
The
fun
band kissed goodbye to another tour.
skin.
But once Taylor was healthy enough to resume
Hair
the
metal
tour,
Alpha.
they hit the
Right
road
there.
again.
Yeah.
This time recording all their English gigs for a live album, No Sleep Till Hammersmith, which reached #1 on the UK charts.
Hammersmith is a location in Brutal Legend.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of the place.
Dude, Brutal Legend
They
was
didn't sleep
wild.
He was a character in Brutal Legend.
In London,
Yeah,
and they
please
still
play
played this
Brutal
brilliant
Legend
show.
on stream.
We played through like an hour and a half of it.
Right up there with
Ozzy,
Made in
yeah, Ozzy was
Japan
too.
And a couple others is one of the greatest live records.
Is that where No Sleep Till Brooklyn came from? I mean, No Sleep Till is just another euphemism for I'm not going to sleep until I get to this destination, driving.
Yeah. Also, No Sleep Till
Word of
Brooklyn.
mouth about the album reached America, where an enthusiastic young musician was starting a
RTS
fan
game for a rock song was just not it,
I
man.
was flying the flag for Motorhead.
I liked it. And it was an action
certainly
game too.
louder than anybody else. The Motorhead was one of the main reasons that I wanted to start a band myself and play music. You should never forget those moments.
But back in London, a tragedy was about to engulf his roommate Andy. that
81
Lemmy
and then
would
No
never
Sleep Till Brooklyn.
You know, he gave me a room in his house, where nobody else would come near me, That was great of him. He was really a good friend to me.
Now Lemmy learned that Andy had been brutally murdered in a gay hate crime.
When they set fire to the room, all light up and down to the
Holy
TV room.
shit.
They found him in the TV room. Bled to death, That was awful.
Holy shit!
Motorhead's hit-making engine survived this tragedy as it had broken limbs, bad blood, and illegal substances. But when Lemmy decided to record a song with punk heroine Wendy O. Williams, it looked like the band might finally fall apart.
If you consider how awesome, Wendy O. Williams was just like the punk rock princess provocateur extraordinaire.
Shit, she's hot. Fan.
I personally think any combination of Motorhead and Wendy O. Williams is awesome.
But Fast Eddie didn't think it was such an awesome idea. He refused to play guitar on the track and got kicked out of the band as a result.
I never thought I'd ever leave Motorhead, so the fact that I got pushed out of Motorhead was a bit of a blow.
And it's a shame because he was a marvelous guitarist and a great and vital important part
And
of
a
that
gay guy in the
that
band?
sound.
I guess they didn't know he was gay, or he didn't come out.
I missed that.
Well, they just really knew.
Or they didn't think it was a big issue?
But when Lemmy brought in Thin Lizzy guitarist Brian Robertson, things got worse.
That shit was a lot more common.
And he came along to the stage just in these green satin shorts and ballet pumps, right?
No,
and
it's
see-through mesh t-shirts.
My Fitbit buds because I got a text. Okay.
That's just not the right look.
You look like the singer in Loverboy.
There are no subtitles. I'm sorry, Hatshepsut. there auto-generated subs?
And Lemmy
No.
said something like, you know, Rollo, what the f*** you done to yourself? You look like an idiot.
A Hell's Angel at a London gig agreed.
When I heard him, he said, "Who's that?" And Trump said, "It's my original guitarist." Ah, let's kill him. I talked to him about it. I think I saved his life.
Oh, you're good, Aris. That's okay.
The Hell's Angels are no fucking joke.
Yeah.
They literally just fuck you up.
Brian
Because
was
they thought
fired,
it was
and
funny.
Phil Campbell's
One
wife
held
took a
the door
surprise
open for
phone
my
call.
dad once.
She said, "Oh, we've had a
Dude,
phone
they
call
can either
from
be
a
really
Motörhead
respectful or
people.
the most
They
scary
want to
people
learn
on
18
the
songs by
Oh,
Friday.
I'm sure.
It is
God.
wild.
So I
You
didn't have
cross
any
them in
albums.
any sense of the
So I had
word,
to borrow
you're
one from
fucked.
Prison Risk.
You are
Jonah.
dead. Essentially,
You're
think the
ending up
American
Phil was up
Yakuza.
against
Yeah,
That's
it's
exactly
the
what they
American
are.
Yakuza.
Wurzel Burston for the job.
That's a
Before Lemmy
fucking.
came in, the
That's
two
a
guys
hard
sort of
hat that
conspired
Die,
and
you
were like, "Oh,
bastard."
I'll play this part, you play this
Please.
part, and you know, maybe
Shane
he'll
make
pick us
that,
both."
please, and send it to me.
I'm looking
Die,
up
you
hard hat.
bastard.
I will literally wear that on stream.
The
Oh
Mafia?
my
Well, that's
God.
the Italian Yakuza.
Yeah, the Mafia is
Good choice between
Italian.
them, so
You have Hell's
we went for
Angels,
both
which
of
is
them.
like American.
But no
and
sooner
then
were Phil
Yakuza,
Campbell
which
and
is
Wurzel
Japanese.
on board than drummer Phil Taylor announced
Kinda,
he was leaving
Rena?
the band.
I'm offended.
Filthy left because basically he thought that the secret of his future career lay with Brian Robertson.
Yeah, and to get away from Lemmy.
Phil Taylor was replaced by former Saxon drummer Pete Gill.
Saxon.
That was
Dude, she's eating his hair. What?
when you weren't getting fed enough by the band. Just eat Lemmy's hair.
You had bands like Bon Jovi
Oh,
coming into
no.
the Motley Crue
At that
Poison
point, you would
case.
probably get like
Bronze Records
you
decided
would get like
Motorhead
contact
was
high
dead
from eating his
and
hair.
didn't want
You would
another
get
album from the
contact high
band.
standing a couple inches from him.
Coming up, Lemmy heads for the bright lights of Hollywood, but his best friend
Contact
leaves
high,
the
you get
band
the smell
in
of
the
cigarettes
world
imprinted on you
behind.
for the rest of your life.
He was my best friend in the
So one
band.
of the two.
When Behind the Music
Yeah, Lemmy was
continues.
legendary. I'm really happy that we get to see him interviewed, though. He's dead.
He passed away in like 2015. Honestly, hearing his voice when I'm Sandman recently, though, I almost cried hearing it. I was like, oh no.
Heavy metal. But
I
glam
couldn't
metal
like,
bands like
I was
Poison
listening to
and
it with
Motley
K,
Crue
and I
were now
couldn't tell
filling
if it was like
arenas,
AI
and
or
the
if they
band's record
pre-recorded
label
it.
didn't want another album. Was it all over for Motorhead?
The hair metal and the stuff coming out of LA was so popular and all those bands were playing arenas that Motorhead kind of got pushed aside.
But Lemmy wasn't that easily pushed aside. He took the album over, and in 1985, No Remorse reached number 14 on the UK charts as the fans came banging back.
We killed them. We just killed them. They were standing around the seats, you know. So vindicated completely, you know.
The band was on a roll, but then in 1987, new boy Pete Gill made the mistake of keeping Lemmy waiting when he called to collect him for rehearsals.
Oh, shit.
I could see him around out there, and we were all sitting in the car waiting. It was just the last straw. And he came sauntering out, and I said, "Hey, you're fired," and we drove off. So that was him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Happily for
Who
Lemmy,
is this fucking
Phil
Chad?
Filthy Animal
Oh my
Taylor had
God.
discovered that work was hard to get, and he now rejoined the band.
Welcome, women bowlers.
You
What?
want to get him back with a girlfriend that you were madly in love with, you know, and just realised
He looked
you should never
scared.
have left.
He was like being held at gunpoint for this interview.
But it wasn't a loving reunion for Filthy Phil and his old sparring partner, Phil
Filthy
Campbell.
Phil, I love it.
We were in the dressing room, we were about 30 minutes before we go on. I said, "Filthy, you drum like a..." And he punched me, and there was a step in the dressing room, so my ankle went over and snapped.
Phil Campbell spent the rest of the tour seated on stage.
Oh, shit. That sucks.
Yeah, he's still good play. He's just sitting down.
In 1990, Lemmy moved
I did
to
see the
West
new Meat Canyon
Hollywood, where he
animation,
could
yeah.
indulge in his off-duty passions, Jack
You made a
Daniels
movie?
and women.
Oh yeah, it's like 10 minutes long.
And
Oh, I'm gonna have
enjoy
to
his
watch
very
that.
own
It's
customized
It's
spot
good.
at the end of the bar with his
Fucking
very own
love
video
Meat
game
Canyon,
console.
creepy shit.
Here in Los Angeles, he lives basically hop, skip, and a jump from his favorite watering hole, the Rainbow Bar and Grill.
I said to Lemmy one day, why do you live in this apartment? Why don't you get something better? He goes, well, I don't drive. I'm in walking distance to the Rainbow.
Dude just kind of gave up.
The first time I ever met Lemmy, I was in a strip club in Los Angeles. Crazy girls. He looks at me and he says, hey, I'm sorry about your friend Kurt. And to me, it was a perfect thing to say.
Oh my God.
Lemmy has also grown closer
That's
to
really
his son
sweet.
Paul. Born in 1965, he grew up with his mother, but has kept in touch over the years, and was even a guest musician on the band's last gig of its 1997 tour.
The nicest thing he ever said to me was very recently when you asked him what is the most precious thing in this room, and he said, my son. And I was kind of blown away by that. I wasn't expecting that response.
Happy Father's Day.
Well,
Happy Father's Day.
Is Lemmy Alpha's dad, or is... I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
kid's canon now.
There's a
I
lot
don't
of
know,
bad
do you
dads.
want Alpha to have daddy issues? Like, what's your dynamic here?
Your new name is
But
Alphonse
despite
Kilmer.
sleeping with over 1,000 women and counting, he still shows no sign of settling down.
Wait, did the audio just switch to just
Yeah.
left ear?
Yeah. I feel like I got fucking tinnitus in my right ear. It was just very suddenly quiet.
Oh man,
This
did we
is so
finish this whole
shitty,
thing?
but it's so good.
Well, because it was like scratched on with pencil in that picture.
Just take out
So I
here.
had to do it too. Here you go, Alpha. There you go too.
Thank you.
I think.
Oh, I hate.
Yeah, I don't like that it's just in my ear. My one ear.
Don't skip forward. No, you made it this far.
I'm not going to say
I thought I was tripping. I was like, why is it? Hello?
I don't think I
Yeah.
can wear this hat on stream.
I run around, that's right.
3 different strippers came out to me. They go, "Was that Lemmy from Motorhead?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh
He slept
no.
over my house before.
We need a
I
this
love
machine
that.
kills
Got these
fascists, but
20-year-old
like
strippers,
on my
like, he
arm
slept
or
over my
something.
house. It's awesome.
But Lemmy
Hold
left
on.
his softer
I
side
got-
at home.
hold
when
on,
he
I
decided
got
that
this.
bringing Phil Taylor back into the
I
fold
got
had been a
something
mistake.
for you. I know exactly what to do. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Okay. Can we put it on Claude?
Forgetting things, you know. And you give him three
You're fucking
ultimatums,
silent,
and more
God,
than
your
most
body is
people
fucking
don't
wild.
go through, so they had to go, you know. You can't have a passenger in a band like mine, you know.
Filthy tells a rather different story involving an old flame of Lemmy's who had become Filthy's girlfriend.
Whoa!
Like an idiot, you know, she
Hey, Romeo, what's up? Hello. Yes, Dragon Raid. That's the second Dragon Raid I think we got today. Hi, guys. Whoa, hey. Welcome to stream, first of all. What were you guys up to? Can we get a shout out for Ram, please? Thank you guys so much for being here. We are watching, happy Father's Day, by the way, to any fathers in chat. Much appreciated. We are watching what my dad and I used to watch back when I used to live with my parents on Father's Day, and that is VH1 Behind the Music. And if you don't know who I am Alphonse McKenzie, the best big brother you never had. And if you don't know who that is, well, I'm Jonah Scott. I'm a voice actor. Finished Amnesia and tried Night Security. Hope your night's going well. Oh, nice. Oh my God, Jay.
I don't think you could use that on stream. But
I don't think I can use that on stream.
It's really
but
funny.
it is funny. We are just this one's about Motorhead. I apologize for the audio in this particular section of it. It's only in your left ear. I'm sorry. It's just this is the only copy of it available online. But thank you so much for the raid. What were you guys playing? Amnesia and what is Night Security? Is that?
I think it's like an observation, or I'm on observation duty dupe.
Okay, cool. That sounds fun. Bad relationship horror and World War I horror. I've seen a lot of people play the new Amnesia game. Is that good? I've heard mixed reviews. Did you like it? New horror game by Chill. If you've ever played Closing Shift, huh? Yeah, Juzo, did you play it?
Did I play what? The new Chiller
Amnesia?
game?
No, the new Amnesia game.
The bunker.
Yeah.
Dude, it's really good.
Is it? Okay. Okay.
It is so good. It is.
Is it just because you had a gun and I feel like that was
Oh, you get a gun, but it's very, very limited ammo. So if you're gonna have to go around and find bullets.
If it puts it into perspective at all, I saw a clip of somebody playing it. They were in full on tears, like, "Where is it?
Holy
Where
shit!
the fuck is it, dude?
That's
Where
scary
is
as fuck.
it? I can't be doing like almost panic attack, crying, like creeping around the corners with a gun."
That would be me.
But thank you so much for the raid. We are gonna finish this one up, and then we're gonna go on to what was the other one we were gonna watch? There was I don't know. We're gonna keep watching these though. And the reason we're watching these is because I have a rock band. And we are going to be putting out some music here in 15 days or something like that. A little more than that. Or a little less than that. On the 30th, I have a re-debut.
11 days.
11 days is my re-debut, and I'll be re-debuting with 2 new outfits, 2 new models, 2 new songs from our band Midnight Howl. I can, since we did get a really a nice raid there, I'm gonna go ahead and play the chorus to both of those songs that we're going to be releasing. We'll have you listen to them really quickly. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. One is called Neon Glow, and the other one is called Devil That You Know. I have them at a good volume now, so they're not going to blow your ears out, but here you go. Here's Neon Glow. Oh, wait. Why can't you play it? Oh, my God. Are you serious? Play. Play, damn it. Great. Now I have to download. Oh, this is going to be way more. Why? Why? You were just playing. Let me refresh this. Hold on. I got this. I got this. I got this.
I believe.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the first song. That's Neon Glow. That's gonna have a music video with it, featuring some of your favorite VTubers. If you have a favorite VTuber, they may or may not be in the music video. But this one, this next one is called "Devil That You Know." It's again just 20 seconds. I can't show you guys the whole song because my manager would kill me. But here's the first 20 seconds. Here is 20 seconds of "Devil That You Know."
I'm with the devil. I signed away my head. And the lights keep swirling and heads keep turning. If I stop running, I'll line up with the devil.
There you go. That's all you get. That's all I'm allowed to show you. But other than that, this is the first time you've heard that one? Oh my God. Okay, cool. But yeah, we're a legit band. Like, we're real. We exist. We make music. We sell gold records.
I've been sending you hats.
Gold records. They're gonna be platinum, baby.
You've been sending
Platinum
me
records.
hats. Several hats. What is this hat? This machine turns fascists into crumbs. This machine turns women into kissed women.
I love these.
That one's great. Hold on, wait, no. Here. I'm gonna put this one on. I actually think this one's really cute and very fuck the system. VTubers exist. Yes, VTubers do exist. Whether fortunately or unfortunately, VTubers are real.
Was streamed on YouTube.
VTubers can't hurt you.
There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Anyway. Lemmy's funeral was streamed on YouTube in 2016. That's a little wild. I don't know if he would have signed off on that, but
I mean, a lot of things are streamed
anyway,
on YouTube nowadays.
we are going to finish this up. We got about 10 minutes left in this one, and then we're going to go straight into the next one. If you have not gotten into our Discord, please do. Also, if you haven't followed, please do. I would very much appreciate it. And
that was
you're
perfect
awesome.
timing.
Thank you so much for the raid.
Called up Lemmy and told him
Oh, I forgot it's in my left ear.
Yeah, it's just in my left ear there. Thank you for the sub, Otter.
Of course, I said, you can't find me, I'm leaving.
Much appreciated. Welcome back for 7 months. I missed the punchline.
Filthy animal in my ear.
Mickey D and asked him to join the band.
Again, so sorry about the one ear, but I can't like sum this tomato.
But there was
Dude, this is like shitty binaural audio. It's so funny.
Lev was at Crazy Girls and Phil and Versa was at
so
Captain
crazy.
Phil. So I actually had to learn all these songs.
Hey, there we go. I summed it tomato for the stream.
Oh, well, at least they got it, yeah.
I don't know, 30, 40,000 people, you know.
But tragically, the new lineup wasn't to be together for long. By 1995, it was clear that Motorhead was finally reaching the end of his journey.
I believe Versa was more rock and roll than the three of us together when we played, you know. And Versa was the wild guy on stage. He was absolutely nuts, and he was also pretty wild and different, you know, off stage.
He was the kamikaze guitar player, you know. He drank himself to death in the end, unfortunately. I love Wurzel. He was my best friend in the band for ages, you know.
Wurzel left the band after recording
So
Sacrifice
hard
in
seeing all these like super
1995,
gritty,
a
hardened
fitting
men talk
epitaph
about
for his
losing their best
commitment.
friends.
He would die of a heart
Yeah.
attack in 2011, still mourned by his friends.
When he died, he was fucking awful, you know. I mean, they say the good ones go too early. Well, he was one of them.
Damn.
What are you gonna do, you know?
Wurzel's departure unsettled Lemmy, but it had a silver lining. Now Motorhead had their most enduring lineup ever. Lemmy, Phil Campbell, and Mickey D. But they desperately needed to break the States.
This great band from England that no one heard of in the States until they did the Ozzy tour. So that was a real defining moment.
And I like how they played just enough of the song for me not to get DMC muted.
That is the turning point for them, and that is them at the mountaintop.
For a lot of, you know, young American kids who are looking for something fast, aggressive, and just, you know, more extreme than anything else, Motorhead was that band that ignited them.
Coming up, Motorhead finally gets the respect it deserves, thanks to Metallica.
Just inspiring to play.
Oh, it switched over for a quick second.
It's trying to fight you. Old habits.
It's trying to fight it.
It's gonna be a jump scare when it does
When
it.
Behind the Music continues.
Just boom, boom.
God, I hope not. There it is!
Oh my god, yeah!
We're back, baby!
We're back, baby, let's go!
Where does button chops go?
Shaved, what?
Motorhead
Ew,
was now in
I
the
don't like
mainstream
that.
with 16 albums and sales of over 25 million
he's so
behind
clean.
them, and legions of fans worldwide. But the band members were just as combative as ever, both on the road and in the studio.
It's hard to command Motorhead, you know? It's like trying to command a train running down the tracks out of control.
It's basically like being thrown into a war. They were brutal to me. They would do everything they could to belittle me, basically saying, "Are you worthy to be with us?"
Can you still get it up? Or are we pushing too hard? I think if you ever had a beautiful girl, you had to use your MasterCard.
The studio security cameras showed who else was helping out with the
Never heard that
recording
on that.
sessions.
You know, there was women dressed at times running through the halls, and, you know, I'd get a call and have to go up and see security, and we can't have this, you know?
Yeah.
Gotta wear clothes in this place.
In January 2005, the
What's up,
record
Zeno?
industry that had for so long ignored Motorhead and all that the band stood for finally had to acknowledge them, giving them the Best Metal Performance Award at the Grammys.
Oh, damn.
Grammy goes to.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, hold on a second.
Whiplash,
What?
Motorhead.
Heavy metal was right out of favor.
We just get a dual raid? Was this calculated?
Hooray!
Dual raid! Hey guys, thank you T Kobe and Unhappy Cat for the raids. What's up? Whoa, that was wet. What was that?
Oh, my Probably my cat
Oh.
pushing a little bag of something off my dresser.
You're playing V Rising? Is that good? I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, Bell's
like-
fucking addicted
It's
to
like
it.
it's like Vampire Valheim, dude.
Yeah, it's Vampire Valheim.
It's isometric.
Calculated.
It actually looks a lot like Diablo 4, except you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
change the direction of the camera.
That's nice. It's so fun for real. It's especially fun with friends. I'll have to try it out sometime. Maybe around Halloween or something like that. I'll go and play some V Rising. It's awesome.
Yeah, Vel's been playing it a lot recently.
Lemmy Koopa from Mario was inspired by Lemmy Kilmister? Nuts.
Really?
Okay. I'll have
That's
to check that out.
cool.
Who up
up
butter in
butter?
their noodles?
Yeah,
I
all
need an
the
explanation here.
named after like musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like half the cast in JoJo's are named after these guys. Like, anyway, we are watching. Thank you for being here. First of all, thanks for the raid. We are watching Behind the Music to some of our favorite bands, and this one is Motorhead. And then we are going to be watching Behind the Music to another band, and yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. It's Father's Day, and we're doing Dad Rocks things. Okay, thank you guys for the raid. Let's finish this up.
Oh, apparently he's it's the ride from Larry
In a
Mullen
bizarre
Jr.,
rock
the
and roll
drummer
full
for
circle,
U2.
Motorhead won the Grammy for a cover version of Whiplash, a song written and recorded by Metallica.
What's up? Hello, sir.
Then on September 14th, 2009, Lars and the band brought a very special guest on stage.
Oh wait, no,
in
there is a
Nashville.
Lemmy. No, you're right.
Here is the godfather of heavy metal. From Motorhead, the one and only Lemmy Kilmister.
He's kicked the door open for a lot of bands that were feeling like they wanted more.
Lemmy, 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 Lemmy.
So was Lars
If there
Ulrich.
wasn't a Motorhead, there wouldn't be a Metallica.
There's a lot
Sharing
of
the
dicks in
stage with
fucking
him.
rock and roll.
I mean, it's always
Yeah.
fun and
There's
it's
a lot
always
of 'em.
Metallica is just a
inspiring
dick.
to play music with him because it's
Yeah.
such a such a
Fucking goes to your
vibe.
head. I did not expect him to say the word
Vibe?
It's
Yeah.
such a vibe.
James Hetfield looks like if Chris Sabat did metal. Flip it and ship it, boys.
Oh no!
Also on stage with Lemmy was his other steadfast
Lemmy's
companion
with
of 40
that
years,
Rock the Lemmy.
his Rickenbacker bass.
I like the shape of it. For
Yeah,
a
that'll
start.
feel
It's so
great.
weird.
Yeah, he'd love it.
You hear 2
He would
seconds
think it's
of his
funny.
bass and you think, oh, hey, that's Lemmy.
He's a fantastic bass player. and
Lemmy's
he's got,
hat is in
like a
Deep Rock
strumming
Galactic?
style
Fuck
with
yeah.
His right hand. But his left hand is as fast as anybody's.
He's an outlaw with his instrument.
He's an
There's
outlaw
also
with his
class
instrument.
in
Is
there,
he
too.
an outlaw star?
Rock and Stone, right, correct.
Since then, thanks in part to this class, the band has remained a constant touring and recording machine. But they are no less scary than when they started out.
A lot of them actually thought I was some West Coast poser rocker, you know. And Lemmy stood up for me. He said, you know, get the out of my dressing room if you're gonna talk bad about my drummer.
The various lineups of Motorhead have made a determined musical journey through a land of fights and fury, deafening decibels, backstage Babylon, drugs, and women. So nearly 40 years on, what does the future hold for the band?
Motorhead stop? They're gonna outlive all of us.
We're like a nightmare. We keep coming back.
Motorhead has survived because Lemmy said on Iron Fist, don't let them grind you down.
They're sort of like the cockroach of rock and roll, you know? They're,
I don't know why, but that guy
they're
reminds
dirty,
me of
disgusting,
Sylvan Clare.
destructive, but you have to give them all due respect because they have outlived so many people and may outlive us all.
And how will the man who has led Motorhead from London in the 70s to international respect and recognition today be remembered?
Lem. Being an old bastard.
A straight shooter. I mean, no bull with Lemmy.
He lives rock and roll. Everybody wishes you could drink your jack, smoke your cigarettes, and do the things he does, and do all these women all around the world all your life, every day on 11. You know what I mean? He lives the life that you see every day.
He'll be Keith Richards times
Homie
10.
said nuclear blast will
Where
be
people
survived
say
by
Keith
cockroaches
Richards, what a
and
badass,
Motorhead.
and he was, oh my God, what a rebel. No one comes close to Lemmy. And nothing against Keith, but not
Nothing
even gonna
against
be
Keith.
close.
The industry did it his own way.
Nothing gets
exposed everything for what it is and stayed Motorhead.
A genuine rock and roll hero and somebody who was sincere, didn't take any didn't get pushed around, did what he wanted to do, and was a genuinely good guy doing it.
He never got fluffed out. He never got Gucci'd. He doesn't want that lifestyle of limos and people standing there with cameras flashing at it. So he's still like the real guy.
Because most rock stars are
Imagine
full of
Lemmy wearing Gucci.
a lot of it's
I
smoke and
can't.
mirrors, you know?
No,
He's
I can't, yeah.
100% for real.
He just tells you as he feels, which that's what I admire about him, because he don't give a if you're Elvis or Ozzy, he'll tell you what he thinks, you know. No bullshit.
The fuck did you just say, Ozzy? I'm sorry.
I heard him say his
I'm
own
trying to be
name.
honest.
That's it.
If I can, you know, I'm proud of it.
Lemmy.
Which is, I know, both kind of irrelevant these days, but I'm quite proud of him, you know. If they are virtues, then I got them. Apart from that, they can all go f themselves.
All right, there it is. That's Motorhead, guys. So now you're slowly learning about the gods of rock and roll in the pantheon. Let's see who else there is behind the music. Vanilla Ice. No, we're not watching that.
No
Anthrax.
one cares about Vanilla Ice.
You have anything? You have a pop quiz for chat?
Pop quiz. What is chat? What's Lemmy's favorite drink? Come on, chat. You got this.
You got it.
What's Lemmy's favorite drink?
Studio 54 was Sodom and Gomorrah with a disco beat.
Oh my god, that's like the third time they've used Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, that's like Megadeth. We could do behind the music. Megadeth. Let's see. We got Motley Crue. That's Motley Crue again. A lot of Motley Crue. Kurt Cobain. The Bangles.
That's not. Well, I guess it's rock, isn't it?
The Doors.
The Doors.
It's not dad rock.
That's true. It's not dad rock. Let's see. Leonard Skinner, Pantera, Van Halen.
Oh,
this one's behind the paywall.
Dude,
Jim Beam and Coke. Correct. It is a Jack and Coke. Correct. Or Jim Beam and Coke.
Here's the fun part about it, though. It's an official thing for, like, you know, the alcohol industry. But apparently, like, Jack and Cokes are officially called Lemmys now because of him.
Oh, that's
so you can
nice.
go to a bar and order a Lemmy, and they know what you're talking about.
That's a cool little, nod. Pink Floyd, Dr. Dre, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, the Rolling Stones.
Oh, there's the Motley Crue one. There's one literally just about
The rise and fall of Michael Jackson.
Liberace.
The Beatles.
Janet Jackson. Studio 54. That's more like disco.
Iron Maiden.
Well, where?
The History of Iron Maiden Part 1.
Part 1. It's 90 minutes long.
It's also from
it's from Iron Maiden's official YouTube account.
Jesus.
Velvet Revolver, The Doors. Very rare
He's
documentary.
not all behind the music.
We could do The Doors. The Doors, I mean, we had, like, that's Jim Morrison.
What about The Walls?
Legends is presented by.
Oh my god, this was like filmed in some dude's house. It's so hard to get these. Hold on, we'll do behind the music. Doors. The Doors. Wikipedia. Behind the music, Wikipedia. The Door. VH1 Legends. That's it. VH1 Legends. What does this sound like? That's not that bad.
No, not too bad.
It's 10 minutes.
But it's part 1. It's like watching anime in 3 parts.
Well, make sure you can get part 2, because you want to have one of those things where it's like, oh, part 2 is missing. You only have part 1 and part 3.
Yeah. What about this one? This one's 47 minutes long. About the Doors. Oh, come on. Is it narrated?
When the album was recorded.
Oh my god,
this is It's too fresh.
The album was recorded.
Oh, wait, hold on. This is all the parts.
Some bands think of rock as daytime music.
Fuck yeah.
Others
Is
consider
one
it a
of them Spanish?
roadmap to the blackest part of the night.
The subtitles are in
Doors
Spanish.
always took their inspiration from the darkness. Led by singer Jim Morrison, the band combined poetry and theater.
Oh,
They
it's even worse
investigated
quality.
places where dreams and nightmares collided.
Yeah, like, we can
They
see
brought an
every
underground vision to the
pixel.
top of the charts. The Doors are legends. This is their story.
Oh, this is VH1 Legends. This was before Behind the Music.
During the early 1960s, California was a hotbed of rock and roll. The Beach Boys set the tone for a lifestyle of fun, fun, fun. By mid-decade, San Francisco is a haven for the hippies and their smile-on-your-brother attitude. But in Los Angeles, the Doors left flower power to rot on the vine. They looked for truth by moonlight. Separating themselves from hippie values of optimism and community, the Doors created one of rock's most ominous sounds.
Yeah, a lot of their
At the
music
center
just
was
sounded
Jim
spooky.
Morrison, a film student and aspiring poet. In a theatrical moment,
I don't think he was an
called
aspiring
himself the
poet.
Lizard King and told journalists that the Doors were erotic politicians.
I think these days, especially in the States, you have to be a politician or an assassin or something to really be a superstar.
Like the Stones in the Velvet Underground, the Doors flirted with danger. They stood for investigating the extremes of every situation.
We want the world and we want it now. Right, Mama?
He's got such a cool voice. Thank you for the biddies, Melody.
Morrison's emotions were extreme, too. He could be cerebral, he could be derelict. The tension between the two sides was explosive. He reacted against all forms of authority. It made him one of the most charismatic and provocative rock stars who ever lived.
That was a very smart
And the most
man.
bewildering, too. No one, not even the other Doors, knew what he would do next. James
did.
Douglas Morrison was
Same.
born in 1943 in Florida.
I'm tired.
His father,
I'm a pee
a
again.
captain
Hold
in
on.
the
I'll be right back.
Navy, was
Oh,
fighting
there
in
he goes.
World
Go
War
piss.
II when his son was born. Jim's middle name was inspired by General Douglas MacArthur, but the discipline of military life wasn't his destiny. Steve Morrison's duties often kept him away from his children. The family moved frequently. By the time Jim turned 4, they had bounced from Florida to D.C. to New Mexico.
I know, that's what I was about to say.
He never
That was
settled into
quick.
one particular environment. A chubby kid, Jim had a wild streak. He taunted his siblings, Ann and Andy, and got attention by throwing fits. And when that didn't work, he'd retreat to his books. A favorite subject was reptiles. Life in Albuquerque provided plenty of opportunity to investigate the desert creatures. Young Jim was
Middle of New
fascinated by
Mexico.
lizards.
Middle of nowhere, New Mexico.
I am a lizard king. Somebody from Albuquerque. They tell me how dry it is over there and how full of wildlife it is.
As an adult,
Yeah, you can't go a couple feet
Morrison
without
told
seeing a
his friends that he
rattlesnake.
had
Like,
a
okay,
life-altering
damn.
experience at the age of 4. While the Morrison family was driving to Santa Fe one day, they came across a crash on the highway. A truck had swerved off the road and into the desert. Several Native Americans had been riding in the back. One died in the crash. Some were thrown from the truck, badly injured. The Morrisons stopped to help, and Jim couldn't take his eyes off the scene. Years later, he said that an Indian spirit took possession of him that day.
Indians scattered on Dawn's highway bleeding. Ghosts crowding young child's fragile eggshell mind.
In high school in Virginia, Jim shunned hobbies and sports. He was a class clown who loved the satire of Mad Magazine, but managed to get good grades. An IQ test placed him in the genius range. He investigated philosophy, mysticism, and art. Jack Kerouac's On the Road was a favorite book. Morrison was attracted to an anything-goes kind of freedom. Soon, Nietzsche was also on his reading list.
Great, of course.
He often rebelled against the middle-class life his family lived. Jim relished the chance to be on his own in college. First, he went to school in Florida, where he read incessantly. He was intrigued by texts that dealt with the psychology of crowds. At one point, Morrison urged some friends to help him start a riot, just to see what the outcome would be.
What?
They declined. Against his parents' wishes,
Oh,
he transferred
congratulations,
to
Mike!
UCLA to
Welcome
study
back. Thanks
film.
for the T3 sub for
He told
35
his
months.
friends that film was where the unconscious part
Mainstay
of life
founder.
was most
Thank you so much for being here, man.
eloquently
Congratulations.
Morrison was taken with two kinds of motion pictures, surrealism and cinema verite. He was fascinated by the difference between sensual dreams and blunt reality. Jim made one film while he was at UCLA. He got a D on it. He fell in with several students who were
I
dedicated
feel like
to
that
art,
just speaks to
and
how
some
pretentious he
who made an
probably
art
was.
of partying.
Where he was
One
okay,
pal
so
was in
he
the
was
band with
smart,
his
but I
brothers
don't know
on
if
the
he was like
weekends.
ultra
His
mega
name
giga
was
genius.
Ray
A lot of it
Manzarek.
seemed to have been put on.
Ray liked Jim. He thought Morrison was witty, devilish, and smart. Manzarek's group, Rick and the Ravens, was a bar band. They did tunes like Louie Louie, and they'd invite fellow students up on stage to sing along. One night at a local bar, Jim joined too. But he was shy and didn't do much more than shake a tambourine. After graduation, Morrison took an apartment in LA's bohemian neighborhood, Venice Beach.
Yeah, I was
He
gonna say he looks
does,
like a
There he
cult
read the
leader.
poems of Rimbaud in his own verse.
Creepy.
My
He told
English
one
teacher
friend he wanted to start a band.
in high school, keep in mind all
I
male
never
high
went
school.
to
My English
concerts,
teacher
he said. But I heard in my
allegedly
head
she said she
a
had sex with
band
Jim Morrison.
and singing
I don't believe her.
in an audience.
But she
He slept on
was
rooftops
obsessed.
near the
She had a
ocean.
Doors
He
poster
crashed
in
at
the
friends' houses. Morrison was
classroom.
living the poet's life.
Man, he must have
The afternoon he
I mean,
bumped
she
into
probably
Ray
was
Manzarek on
hot,
the beach.
but she
Changed
was like
both
a
of
little
their
leathery.
lives.
You know what I mean?
School was finished. We had nothing to do. And Jim was going to New York. I was going to stay in Los Angeles. And about a month into the summer vacation, who comes walking down the beach but Jim Morrison?
What's up, Fitzgerald?
And I asked him, what are you up to, man? I thought you were going to New York. He said, no, I decided to stay here and write some songs and stuff. I said, well, go ahead, sing one of the songs.
You've heard of the grapes?
And then he did Moonlight Drive. And I thought the words were just amazing.
The raisins of wrath.
The raisins of love.
Like a California raisin.
Oh, no.
The Jazz Ravens raisins, dude.
Oh yeah, those fucking California raisins, man.
That's what the raisins
The California raisin. I can imagine that'd be a really shitty band name, though. The Raisins.
You have a question? Lay it on me.
70-year-old man.
Jim needed someone to believe in him and help him
Shriveled
set
old
his
man
words to
playing
music.
guitar.
He moved in with Ray and began to work on songs.
Relive my glory
They called
days.
themselves The Doors, after
All
Aldous
right,
Huxley's
Grandpa,
book,
let's get
The
you
Doors
better
of
than-
Perception.
There
Huxley's
is a
title
band
itself
called The Raisins.
came from William Blake's line,
There
if the
is.
doors of perception were cleansed,
Ew.
everything would
Rob
appear
Fetters,
to man as
Bob,
it is,
Nice
infinite.
Walker, and Chris,
At first, the Doors had no drama.
Artisor.
Those
That
aren't real
changed
names.
when
Like members
Manzarek
of a
met
band
John
called The
Densmore at a
Raisins, all right.
meditation class.
Right?
John was an
Those AI
inventive
generated
drummer
names,
without a
they
regular
can't-
gig.
you can't prove that's
He
actually
was playing
even a real
fraternity
band.
parties for pocket money when he met the Doors. Together with a bass player, Morrison, Densmore, and the Manzarek brothers cut a demo tape that included Moonlight Drive, Hello, I Love You, and a tune called Go Insane. Columbia Records signed the group, but then dragged their
Everything he
feet
says
about
sounds like the
recording
most intense
sessions.
thing ever.
It was clear the band was
I know
not
the
a
narrator's a little
priority.
scary.
Disheartened, Ray Manzarek's brothers went back to their day jobs. It looked like the Doors were finished. In
We're
fact,
slowly approaching
they
a
had
time
not
when
yet started.
a Jim Morrison AI could
In the
narrate
next
its own.
remarkable year, the Doors would bring Jim Morrison's vision to life.
Bro, this is like the narration for the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Is that Martin Sheen?
Jim
have a
Morrison,
song
Ray
called
Manzarek,
19th
and John
Nervous
Densmore
Breakdown.
wanted to keep the Doors together, but their
He had a
lost two
whole album,
members were
man.
getting no support from their record
Yeah, they had a
company.
vinyl.
Densmore said he knew a good guitarist, Robbie Krieger.
When I first heard
Robbie Krieger.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there it goes.
2-4.
Jim Morrison, Ray Manzarek, and John Densmore wanted to keep the Doors together, but they had lost 2 members and getting no support from their record company. Densmore said he knew a good guitarist.
I had a friend. I had a band in high
Robbie
school,
Krieger.
and he,
when I first
my guitarist,
heard about the
strangely
Doors,
obsessed
John
with Jim Morrison.
Densmore,
He
who
was
I'd
almost
known
a little
in
creepy.
school, was telling me about this group that he was in called the Doors, and they had this wild, crazy guy, Jim Morrison, who was going to be the lead singer, even though he couldn't sing at the time. But I knew that they were going to be good because they had these great songs.
The first time Robbie rehearsed with the Doors, he played the snaky, bottleneck guitar lines that are the signature of Moonlight Drive. Everyone knew he was perfect. The Doors were fully formed.
Name? Robbie Krieger. Age? 22 years old. Occupation? Guitar. Name?
John Densmore.
Age?
23.
Occupation?
You're 23?
Percussionist.
You look like you're 35. Why did they look so old back then?
Occupation?
Musician, organist.
Name?
There's no fucking way that you just said
Occupation?
That guy who died from Def Leppard.
Some of those who came to hear the Doors rehearse thought they were too weird. Jim went through periods of self-doubt as a singer. Sometimes he would stand off to the side of the stage. Club owners were bewildered. There was no bass player. Jim didn't look anyone in the eye. No other band sounded like or acted like the Doors.
I wonder.
We were all acid heads looking for another way to get high, said Manzarek. We found
This
it
guy's
in the
named
music.
Jim. What?
The songs made plenty of room for poetic and musical improvisations.
Is that the name of the
If an
Spectre?
interesting tangent popped up, they'd follow it till it reached an emotional crescendo.
Yeah, from like.
This gave
from,
them an unusual
DC
sound.
Comics.
Jim
Loose,
Morrison?
but explosive.
The music would settle into a kind of hypnotic river of sound, which
I don't think so.
would leave me free to kind of make up anything that came into my head at the time.
Have you seen my grasshopper, mama?
No.
Looking real good.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's Jim
I'm pretty sure
Corrigan.
it's Corrigan.
Yeah, it's Corrigan. Okay.
It's close enough though. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I blew it. It's a moth.
At
such a
first,
good
the
song.
Doors were
Soul
considered
Kitchen?
outsiders on the LA scene. But finally, they got a gig at a cheesy Hollywood club called the London Fog. Jim grew more confident on stage, and his singing improved. His blend of insolence and vulnerability seduced many listeners. Before long, the Doors became the house band at the prestigious Whiskey A Go-Go.
Damn.
Jim's improvised
Dude, the
passages
Whiskey A Go-Go
included
was
lots of
like-
That
sexual
showed up in
innuendo.
every one we've watched.
Often
Yeah,
stoned,
the Whiskey A
he'd
Go-Go was
hurl
like
himself
the biggest
around stage,
venue for
writhing
people
with the
starting
rhythms.
out.
Other times, he remained motionless, with his head hung, whispering into the mic. The other Doors reacted to Jim's moves musically. It was a far cry from the bounciness of other LA bands, like Buffalo Springfield or the Byrds.
The mood I get from most of it is kind of a heavy, kind of sort of gloomy feeling, you know, like of someone not quite at home, or you know, or not quite relaxed.
The booking agent at the
Val
Whiskey
Kilmer
said
played him in the
Morrison's
biopic.
dirty street clothes weren't right for the stage. She helped him choose a skin-tight leather outfit to wear.
Are you still a
Already
voice actor?
dangerous
Yeah, dude.
looking,
I got a session
Jim
tomorrow.
took
I got
on the
work tomorrow.
regal air.
Nice job.
He was a young Adonis with the
You're
sexual
welcome.
magnetism of early
Thanks,
Elvis.
buddy.
Women made up much of the band's audience.
It felt like
Pam
you were
Corson
holding that
made
in
a
your
point
back
of being at every Doors gig. It wasn't long before she became Morrison's girlfriend. But it was not just the female
literally
fans who
sitting
were
on that waiting for
captivated
the
by
moment
Jim's
to break out.
performances. Crowds gathered each night at the Whiskey to see what kind of crazed theatrics Morrison would come up with. One night, filled to the brim with LSD, he produced a defining moment.
Filled to the brim with
During
LSD.
The End, a song about a romantic breakup, Jim improvised a new section that had blatant edible references.
Father? Yes, son. I want to kill you.
Somebody whistled for that.
Mother.
Yeah, it's like a jam band.
Yeah. I feel like I should be snapping.
I'll do it for you, Jay.
Yeah, he's on LSD.
He's putting his hand over his face like that so you can see the colors better. I know what he's doing.
The Doors were fired as soon as they left the stage, but the Sunset Strip buzzed about their performance for weeks. Columbia
They're
let
so
the band go
mysterious.
without ever releasing an album. Elektra Records moved in. In September of '66, Morrison, Manzarek,
like the
Krieger,
birth of,
and
like, the
Densmore went
Doors,
into the
Motley
studio
Crue.
with producer
Elton
Paul
John was
Rothchild.
there.
Manzarek called the creative
Fucking Fleetwood
process
Mac, Kiss.
a
There's
sort
so
of
many bands
a seance.
that started off with the whiskey.
The result was
That's
one
crazy.
of rock's most electrifying albums. One of the most eerie, too. The first time the Doors tried to capture the end in the studio, it didn't work. Jim was tripping and the focus wasn't there. A few days later, Morrison felt more secure. With all the studio lights off and a single candle burning, the Doors got the take they wanted. 11 minutes long, the end was a testimony to brutal self-examination. It was full of anger, mystery, and destruction. The Doors had captured their essence on tape. Later that night, when the studio was closed, Morrison returned, broke in, and sprayed a fire extinguisher all over the room where he had sung.
What? Dude was fucking mental.
What a weirdo.
It's art. You wouldn't understand.
It's
The
art.
meeting gave the Doors the confidence they needed to go further into theatrical territory. They wanted their music to roam through the listener's psyche.
What do you hope it would do to its audience?
I hope it'll leave them puzzled.
Puzzled's a good word. But puzzled and liking you, or puzzled and disliking you? That's part of the puzzlement.
You know the day destroys the night. Night divides the day.
Break On Through was the Doors' first single. It was a local hit in LA, but struggled to get on the national charts. Elektra put up the Doors' billboard on the Sunset Strip, something that had never been done for rock musicians. It gained the Doors notoriety with the media. In San Francisco, the Doors played the Fillmore Auditorium and Avalon Ballroom. They shared bills with bands as different as the Young Rascals and the Grateful Dead. When they got to New York, the press was waiting for them. Critics heralded the band as a great underground group. The Doors went back to California triumphant. For their second single, Elektra suggested that the Doors release Light My Fire, the first song Robbie Krieger had ever written. At 6 minutes, it was way too long. AM radio wouldn't touch it. The label decided to edit out the organ solo in the middle of the track and tested it on the airwaves.
Get rid
It
of the organ
started to
solo.
move, and FM stations began playing the uncut version as well. By July of 1967, Light My Fire was the #1 single in the country. In a matter of weeks, the Doors were rock stars. The wild ride had begun.
Organ is the best part. Next. Why does the audio progressively get better and
In
better?
the middle of 1967, the Doors were a
It's
hot
because
new
it's
band with
puzzling.
a #1 single. They didn't waste time following up. Many of the lyrics for their second album were taken from Jim Morrison's notebooks. Musically, the band wanted to enhance the sound of their first album. They used echo, Moog synthesizer, backwards piano, harpsichord, and bits of electronic processing.
It's really good, Pencil. Thank you so much. That's fantastic.
Graceful, but they had a
throw a star up there. Just
Densmore's drumming was always inventive.
The fridge.
Success surrounded the band, but the second album's title lived up to the Doors' mysterious image.
Singing with his claws out is a power move.
The Doors opened for Simon and Garfunkel in New York at the end of the summer.
Show it on
the
stream
crowd didn't buy Jim's dramatic moves. Some of them even laughed. Jim operated on impulse. At his best, he was captivating. At his worst, he was a clown. After the Simon and Garfunkel show, he knew everybody wasn't going to swoon to his antics. That didn't mean Morrison was going to change for anyone.
Still in a sketch phase? There's color and everything. What do you mean?
Fire on the Ed Sullivan Show, the producer demanded that the line, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher," be removed. It was too blatant drug reference. In the dressing room, the Doors agreed, but on stage, Jim sang the original line. That was their last Sullivan appearance.
Damn.
On stage and off.
Really? Just talking about getting high gets you kicked off the Ed Sullivan Show?
Drunk and stoned one night, he tried to rip apart the apartment of Elektra's president. He and Pam began to have heated squabbles, too. Jim visited a psychiatrist, but didn't stick around for many sessions. At the age of 23, he was becoming one of the most influential singers in America. This power expanded his already healthy sense of self-confidence. Jim's singing became more expressive, full of grunts and howls. Ray compared Jim to a shaman who took the audience on a mystical journey.
What do you think the role of a rock shaman is in a time of social turmoil?
I don't think the shaman, from what I've read, is really too interested in defining his role in society. He's just more interested in pursuing his own fantasies.
Morrison said performing for people was like presiding over a crisis situation. He often leapt and fell off the stage. The music and the action became increasingly cathartic. Some writers suggested Jim was possessed.
Are the subtitles in Spanish? I don't know, they're baked in the video. Thank you for the biddies, Sheriff!
I mean, whoever was asking for subtitles, I mean, there you go.
Yeah, now you know
Morrison demonstrated his defiance. Jim was making out with a fan before a show in October of '67 when he was confronted by a policeman. The cop told Jim to clear the room. Jim mouthed off and got a blast of mace in the eyes.
Oh, shit.
The Doors went on anyway. During one song, Jim began telling the audience what had happened backstage and was viciously teasing the police. The cops threw on the house lights and dragged Morrison off the stage. He was charged with breach of peace and immoral exhibition.
That is pretty cool.
The
That's pretty
FBI opened a file on Jim Morrison.
Oh, the FBI!
Now known by every rock fan in the world, the Doors began work on their third album, Waiting for the Sun. It was to have a whole side dedicated to Morrison's extended poem, The Celebration of the Lizard.
He loves lizards, dude. This fucking dude loves lizards.
But things were unraveling. Pam was urging Jim to quit the Doors and lead a quieter life as a poet.
Discussions about
Booze
lizards
became a steady companion for the singer. Occasionally, his writing was incoherent. The trappings of pop stardom made Jim wonder about his effectiveness as an artist. John Densmore lost patience with the Doors' lack of focus in the studio.
One night in the studio, I said, "That's it, goodbye." You.
Stop.
The whole band, and I left. And I came back the next day because I couldn't give up
lizard?
my art. But that was my way of saying, we gotta stop this, destruction.
Densmore's action sent a message to the others.
Where am I?
Jim was veering out of control. The band hired a bodyguard to keep him away from whiskey.
Holy shit. The band hired a bodyguard to keep him away from whiskey.
Keeping Morrison straight was impossible. The Doors became increasingly frustrated with working on Celebration of the Lizard. The piece didn't hold up. The friction between young protesters and the
Pride
government
Month,
over
baby.
the war in Vietnam
Let's
was at
go,
its
Pride
zenith.
Month, happy Pride.
The Doors released the highly theatrical song, The Unknown Soldier. They also produced a promotional film for the track. At the end of it, Morrison mimed being shot dead, a martyr. Some radio stations played the song, but many thought it was too controversial or just too strange to be commercial.
Do you think you're a political group? The music can't help but reflecting things that are happening around it.
Isn't that how all music is?
Morrison didn't seem to care about chart success. He made a game out of testing his own physical limits. He jumped out of moving cars. He hung from the ledges of hotels.
Damn.
Morrison could provoke the audience into rushing the stage.
Crazy son of a bitch.
Doors concerts began to generate riots. If Jim could not mesmerize the huge crowds as he had club audiences, he would instead drive them into a frenzy.
Damn.
If I can't make you horny, I'm gonna make
You angry?
I'm gonna we'll go for one of the other 7 deadly sins.
The Doors hadn't had a hit song in the year since Light My Fire. They released Hello, I Love You in June of '68.
Hey!
It was their second #1. But its simplicity caused many fans to wonder about the band's direction.
In all honesty, Hello, I Love You was released because we felt it had the best chance on the top 40 charts.
Waiting for the Sun came out a few weeks later and went gold quickly.
Damn.
The only thing saved from Celebration of the Lizard was a 4-minute song called Not to Touch the Earth. It contained the line, I am the Lizard King. I can do anything. Jim's myth continued to grow.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Los Angeles, California, I'm the goddamn Lizard King.
Concert venues began getting bigger.
It's like the
but the
Tiger
Hollywood
King.
Bowl,
New bad guy,
Madison
new
Square
low
Garden
tier bad
didn't
guy in the
supply
comic book,
kind
the
of
Lizard
intimacy
King.
the Doors were used to. And of course,
It's
they
just
were
some
expected to
fucking
play their
dipshit
hits.
wearing a green cape.
He
That
runs
kind
the
of
streets,
formula was at
man.
odds with their roots in
He
improvisation.
lives in a trash can.
In the early days,
Listen to
they
Trash
Alpha's
made
takoyaki.
as it
Oscar
went
the
along.
Grouch, but he's human.
Now they felt a
The
commitment to
Lizard
give the
King.
audience what it
E.T.
came
Oscar
for.
the Grouch.
Morrison began scripting some of his stage falls, a showbiz
He's like
move.
Yoda, but like
Teeny boppers
like
filled
city
the
street
shows.
Yoda.
And Morrison
Oh my
believed they were missing the
Lizard
depth of
King,
his
I am.
No,
lyrics.
you know what he is?
He
You know
was
what he is?
frustrated.
He's a fucking Argonian. That's
One day,
He's
Jim
an
announced he was
Argonian.
quitting.
He's an Argonian.
Ray talked him into
Wearing a
staying for
sweater.
another 6 months.
You definitely generate an atmosphere or a mood which might be characterized as rebellion, chaos, disorder, and activity that appears to have no meaning.
On stage, Morrison's sexual overtones became more and more
You
graphic.
cannot make Yoda
Local
say
police
that.
began to monitor the
Fuck.
Doors shows for indecent or illegal
Dr. Connors,
activity.
no, the Lizard King.
There was a shoving
how
match
I
in
can't make
Phoenix
Zavala
as fans rushed the
sussy.
stage after
Freya was
Morrison
there
had
for that.
taunted the audience.
Gross.
No matter how hot it got, Morrison couldn't resist fueling the fire.
Oh, bloody and-
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Touch me, baby. Can't you see that I'm not afraid?
For their next single, the Doors added an orchestra. Touching
Lay it on me,
had a
Gold.
Las Vegas tinge to it. At the LA Forum,
Very
with the
tired.
orchestra in tow,
Okay.
the band didn't
What's
go
up, Ray?
over. Morrison asked the
All right,
crowd
Hi.
what they wanted.
How's it
Light my
going?
fire,
Good night.
they
Sleep
roared.
well. Thanks for hanging.
Celebration of the Lizard
Yeah,
is what they
thanks,
got.
man.
In 1970, the Doors were suffering from a critical backlash,
But where the
and
fuck is
Jim Morrison was
Jim?
facing felony charges for allegedly exposing himself in Miami. The Doors knew they had to make a musical statement strong enough to silence the doubters. Their new record, Morrison Hotel, was a return to stripped down rock and roll. It avoided cosmic lyrics and jazz chords. Instead,
Cosmic
it
lyrics.
featured Bo Diddley
Goddamn.
rhythms, blues riffs,
Again, in jazz
and
clubs,
lots
everybody's
of
fucking high
Morrison
most of the
wailing.
time. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
a midnight-
anything
was shot
sounded good
in
in
the Skid
jazz
Row
clubs.
Hotel in
That's a
L.A.
Midnight Howl
The
song
picture on the
title.
back was of a raunchy
What?
barroom.
Cosmic lyrics.
The message was clear.
About
The
Lizard
Doors
King.
were dumping their pretenses.
Lizard King.
The
Oh my
band was
God.
concentrating on
Clapping.
down and dirty
Clapton would
rock.
sing on that.
Some of the group's teeny bopper fans drifted away, but the Doors'
That's
hardcore
a
audience
really bad
liked what they
word for
heard.
it.
As Morrison Hotel was pushing its way up the charts,
That's the term that my
a book of Jim's
grandparents used to
poetry
use
was
for
released.
preteens.
Yeah.
The
my
Lords
God.
and
No.
New Creatures contained some of his verse from earlier days.
Oh, cassette.
As a Doors live record was released, Morrison dwelled on the pending
If you're
Miami
majorly fucked up
trial.
romantically speaking, what would you
He
do to try
had
and fix
cause to
things?
be worried.
Well, in the realm of art and theater,
Wait for
I
somebody
do
to
think
come in and
that
start a
there
conversation
should
that I
be
can't have,
complete freedom for the artist and performer. I'm not
One-on-one
personally
talks.
that convinced that
Therapy.
nudity is always, a necessary part of, a play or film, but the artist should feel free to use it if he feels like it.
Jim hoped the trial would be seen as a fight over freedom of expression. Instead, it turned into a pop culture carnival with crowds of teenage fans
Dude looks like
outside the
fucking
building.
Charles Manson.
Jim took the stand.
That's why he looks like a serial
He said
killer.
he didn't
Yeah.
remember if he had
looks like
actually
Charles
exposed
Manson.
himself.
Winston's
He was
right.
too drunk to recall. The jury decided he had.
If you put bread into toast, and
Though
eat
they
it,
let
will
him
it
go
be
on
further
some
warmed?
counts.
That is a real thing
Morrison
called
was
a
convicted
toasted
on the
sandwich,
charge of
and it's
indecent
depressing.
exposure.
Weird. That's
So
sad.
He was
probably
sentenced to
warm.
6 months of hard labor. His lawyers filed an appeal. Toward the end of the trial, Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin both died from abuse of drugs and booze.
And toast
Morrison
gets
told
hot,
some
so,
pals,
like,
"You're
that can be
drinking
No, you
number
toast
3.
So you toast the
Jim
bread.
was depressed.
Make toast.
The
You put
wear and
bread in
tear of
between
drinking
toast
and the
is
threat
hot.
of prison
Bread becomes
wounded
warm.
his interest in music making.
Bro, my brain is
bread
When
melting.
they went in to
I
make their
know.
next
Toasted bread
record,
sandwich.
the Doors weren't very energetic.
3 pieces of
Their
toast.
longtime producer, Paul Rothschild,
Hold on, I
got
know what I
frustrated
need to
and
change
quit.
my PNG to.
He said
Made a
that the new
mistake
tape
coming
sounded
back
like
here?
cocktail
Don't you Letty
jazz.
face me.
Rothschild's
Yeah, what the
departure
fuck?
shook the Doors and
Please.
forced them to
There,
work harder.
there we go. I got a new
Along with their
PNG on
engineer,
now.
Bruce Botnick,
Yeah, you're awful.
the band
toast.
If you're a cop,
The
you a
rumors
cop.
were wild and
You
varied.
a cop? He's
He
handcuffed.
was
He's like,
already
no,
an
no, I'm not a
international
cop. No,
star.
no.
Death
Nah, man.
would make Jim Morrison a legend.
Val, you should get in call and watch this with us.
I see it came in at a great time. Yeah, Jim Morrison's dead.
Goodbye, Jim Morrison.
With the death of Jim Morrison, the future of the Doors was uncertain. After much internal debate, Ray Manzarek,
Val's the one
Robbie
who
Krieger,
killed
and
Jim
John
Morrison.
Val
Densmore
killed Jim
decided
Morrison in
to continue the
1971.
trio. They released 2 records after Morrison's death. Ray sang most of the songs.
Val, you're old. I mean, Val's a vampire, so it makes sense.
Neither album had much commercial success. They split up in 1973.
The cop
In
was
April of
confused when she saw a voice
74,
actor turn into an anime
Pamela
porn.
Morrison
Yes.
was found
me.
dead from a heroin overdose in Los
He was talking about
Angeles.
the movie yesterday.
The fans who believed Jim was still
Where,
alive imagined she'd
Beatles, like,
faked
never
her death
existed,
to
but this
join
one
him.
guy, like, knows all the Beatles songs.
In
Oh, yeah.
1978,
Published
Dude,
it.
yeah,
Doors
I saw it
created new
yesterday.
music and sound collages
like,
to
oh,
go
yeah, that's
along
based off
with the
of,
poetry tapes Jim
yeah.
recorded during his
It's called
27th
Yesterday.
birthday
Yeah,
session
it
in
was great.
1970.
It was a
What
good
the fuck?
fucking
They
movie.
were released by Elektra
really good
movie.
as an American
What am I,
prayer.
Mirage?
The legacy
Skello,
of
what's
the
up?
Doors
Funny that
continues.
it's a movie.
In
Yeah,
1979,
you're a-
Francis
He was
Ford
talking about that
Coppola used
movie, and
The
I said
End
that they're,
to set the
it's
mood
based
of
off the
horror
Bootstrap
and devastation
paradox.
in
It's
his Vietnam opus, Apocalypse Now. Hollywood also churned out a big
Bro, I would
screen
love
bio
to
of the
go back
band's
and
turbulent
I got a
career,
new R-rated
directed
movie
by
for you,
Oliver
darling.
Stone.
It's called The Cock on Lips
Doors
Now.
songs became fixtures on classic rock radio. In
Band
1997,
never existed.
Ray,
All right, well, I
Robbie,
remember
and
all
John
of their songs.
went into
and
a
I am
Los
going
Angeles
to
studio
write down
to put
every
music to a
lyric.
newly discovered Morrison song called Orange County Suite.
By the lake and people who laughed and made her poor heart ache.
I'm very pleased with the music. Very proud to have made the music with Densmore, Krieger, and Morrison. And those guys they were great to work with, and I think we
Damn,
I've got a new
I think we
R-rated
captured
movie idea for
something,
Ya
captured a
Baby.
moment
It's
in
called A
time,
Cock on Lips
and
Now.
captured
Oh my
also
God.
a timeless moment that'll perhaps live on into eternity.
Cock on lips now.
Always a friend of mayhem, the Doors interfered with the status quo at every opportunity.
For him, Jim Morrison
There
is
are
Lemmy.
many rock fans who
Jim Morrison
believe
is
that's
Lemmy
exactly
Kilmister.
what the music should
fuck.
do.
Tupac isn't
Entranced
dead.
by the hostility of modern
How much
life,
for the hair?
Jim Morrison used hysteria
that was a fucked
and
up
literature
thought.
as a
Like, Jim Morrison
springboard
died in
into
his
salvation.
bathroom, right? Died in the
During the
bathtub.
fevered
Lemmy
years
found his
from
girlfriend in the bathtub
1967
dead
my
too.
God.
to 1970,
That
the
adds up
Doors
really
made some
weirdly,
of
and I don't
rock's
like
most
it.
eternally disturbing music. For those who were
How much
there
for
and
my
were
hair?
awake, the music of the Doors will always
the
summon a
design, the style,
passionate,
what?
dangerous era.
Like, they take the hat
For
off?
those too young to know how the
take the
songs
hat off.
felt when they were new, the Doors offer
No,
a
but
glimpse
hold on,
into the
you're-
emotional complexities of a time
Oh, that's
too
true.
often reduced to nostalgic simplicities. The Doors represent the 60s dichotomies of artistic ambition and rampant hedonism, flower power and anarchy, peace and violence,
Bro, he
LSD
jumps so
and Jack
fucking
Daniels.
free.
Yeah.
They were the antidote
jumps
that
so
contained the disease. They paid a
Or you,
terrible
Jonas Scott,
price
yes.
for going into the unexplored regions, but they brought back incredible stories.
I know you're gonna say no. Are you Jonas Scott? You really just threw him for a loop there.
Yeah, you made me think about it for a second. I mean, I was thinking of the Eddie Munson hair going off in the 60s band because not everything is about you, Monica. Jesus. Okay. This person gets off on beat. No, this person gets... Henry Rollins. Holy shit. Oh, it's narrated by Henry Rollins? He's the bassist for, fucking... The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Ate animals alive.
Yeah.
He urinated on the Alamo. Ozzy Osbourne may not worship Satan.
Okay, whoa. Okay.
He also is
Ozzy
the voice
Osbourne
of,
may not
he's the
worship
voice of,
Satan.
I think, what, Sahir and Core, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah? Shit.
I think
Fuck
so.
yeah, man. That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
think- yeah.
I do think that it is time to go and raid a friendo because it is 10:15 on a Sunday night, and I have a couple of things that I gotta get done before I go bed. But let's see who is live right now.
Everyone's adding GE to the end of the things. Everyone's adding GE to the end of the things.
Let's see. Who is live? Sanson is live. Fleshy's live. Lots of dad things going on right now.
Dad things. You could raid dad fields.
I could raid Melody.
True.
Could raid Melody.
Fleshy's live. Egg is live.
Oh, Fleshy's live. Let's raid Fleshy. Fleshy's my comfort streamer.
Love Fleshy. Huh?
I love. I wanted that wrong.
I can agree though. Fleshy's one of the many comfort streamers that I got.
Okay. All right. Let's. We're gonna turn this back on. Go back to. Hold on. I gotta be big alpha. Move. I gotta move this chicken out of the way, man. There's too much chicken in the way. All right.
Gotta be the alpha.
Chicken.
I'll move the chat back too. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for coming to class with me and being really good students. We'll do this again. We got to find some more wonderful documentaries about our favorite rock and roll bands and our favorite rock stars. That way that you can come into my re-debut knowing all the references and everything and not having it get lost on you. But until tomorrow, I'm going to try and have a stream tomorrow, but I have a lot to do. I may just be really tired. I don't know. But if you know what time it's going to be, at or around 5 p.m. is when we start. And next week on Thursday, we have another Monster Rancher stream with Karina. And then on Wednesday, we have an ASMR stream because we don't have D&D. So we're doing another cursed ASMR stream. It's going to be fucking phenomenal. I got my binaural microphone and everything. It's going to be amazing. But until then, we're going to go say hi to Fleshy.
Get some Jolly Ranchers. Just chew.
Oh, yum. Delicious. Yeah. Delicious.
It'll be great for you, but terrible for chat.
I love you guys. Remember, be excellent to everyone you meet because everyone's fighting a hard battle and sometimes you can't see it. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.